Good afternoon, everyone. We are here because we're going to be recording some more commentary for the Alien Weeks.
The Aliens Week. Hello.
And
how are you?
because of a convenient scheduling thing, I'm actually next to the person that we're commentating with instead of about... Instead of like 20... Like, I think I'm 15 miles away or 20 miles.
Yeah. It's harder to record this over Discord because there's a bit of a delay.
Yeah.
But here I don't have to sync up any audio and there's one track.
So yeah, that's going to be nice. And you might actually hear a little bit of the movie in the background because of that, instead of because it's not on headphones.
I should put on subtitles so it's not too loud and we can,
We can commentate.
Yeah. All right.
Like those people on the sports channels.
All right, there we go. Subtitles are on. All right, now part of every Xavier Mendoza ceremony, you open the soda can right in the fucking microphone. Make sure the audience can't hear the movie because they've gone deaf from the sound of yeah.
Sigourney Weaver. So you sync it right there. Sigourney Weaver just started.
All right, as soon as
BIEHN.
BIEHN.
We're repeating the credits, so just
Paul Reiser.
Sync it to the names.
I'll put a visual on screen.
Lance Henriksen.
Okay, you don't have to do that. I'll put a visual on screen just like I did last
Carrie
time.
Henn.
And sync it up that way, and then they could just like follow that.
Bill Paxton.
I don't think this is as cool of a way to put together the title screen as it was in the last movie, where it showed it individually, like each line.
Aliens.
Although I guess maybe that's a cooler logo.
Can I say how cool, like, the title, like the way they didn't do Alien 2, they do Aliens.
Well, it makes sense,
like,
yeah.
That's the best way to do a name for a sequel. It's just like a perfect name.
Although that falls apart when you have to do the third movie, and then you go, oh fuck, there's one alien again. What do we call it?
Another Alien?
Aliens 3.
Aliens 3?
Yeah, it's called, or is it Alien 3? I can't remember.
Adrian Biddle.
I just remember it had a 3 in it. Story by, that's a lot of people, but you know what?
James Cameron.
It was a good story. So, by the way, for everyone who, is just now showing up, boy, we should have opened with this. We're watching the special edition version of the movie that has extra scenes added that were cut from the theatrical version. So, the version we're watching is what? It's 158 minutes?
I don't know. I didn't see the DVD.
Oh. Well, that's helpful. I like how they managed to get the set from the ending of the first movie back, but now it's just covered in dust. Look,
it's covered in frost.
Well, frost, yeah. It's so cold in space.
And revenge is a dish that is best served cold.
Maybe that's the whole point of this movie, is because this is Ripley's Revenge. They should have just called it Alien 2: Ripley's Revenge.
The Wrath of Ripley. Do you know the Klingon proverb that says revenge is a dish that is best served cold?
It's not a Klingon proverb.
It is very cold in space.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
I love Wrath of Khan. We should do a commentary of that for some time.
Sure, you know what? That could be one for your channel. If you have a copy of Star Trek The Wrath of Khan and want to hear David and I talk bullshit over it, just comment,
let us know.
Comment the letter H. But you have to make it have context. You can't just type H on its own. It has to have some kind of like build up and payoff. You have to have H be the punchline to a joke. That's the comment you have to write. There's your challenge.
What's this?
It is a weird scanner robot thing that's floating in. And it kind of reminds me of the eyeball thing from War of the Worlds.
I haven't seen War of the Worlds.
Tom Cruise basically spends the whole movie going, "My son!" And that's it. I don't know how they did the lighting effect for that.
Original. You're talking about the reboot. The Steven Spielberg has run out of ideas reboot.
Yeah, this is pre-run out of ideas Spielberg.
This isn't Spielberg. This is James Cameron.
Same
Spielberg was never involved in this movie.
Anyway, this is my favorite George Lucas movie. back before he got really...
Stop it.
I hate when we record in the same, like, room, because then you can start choking me. Do these spacesuits look not spacesuity enough for you?
They're more like biohazard suits, because there's atmosphere in here. It's just that I'm assuming...
It's just really shitty atmosphere.
Yeah.
Hey, look! There's an 80s actress in here. Is it Linda Hamilton? No, it's the other one. And
What's
a cat.
the other one?
Sojourney.
Sorry.
Oh, you dropped a phone near my cat.
He was like, oh no.
Hey,
Hello.
yay.
Hello, Stimples.
That's the other one. You misgendered my cat. Anyway.
Which cat?
Look at all these kick-ass matte paintings and models. Look at that.
Yeah, that's what I saw the new Star Trek trailer for the new Star Trek.
Look at that.
show.
That's cool. I want to live there.
I miss the models in Star Trek.
Hey, get a little closer to the mic so the audience can hear the dulcet tones of your voice.
Yeah, I'm the quiet one.
Okay.
You're the obnoxious loud one.
Hey, Ripley, you're in the space hospital.
Space hospital?
Yeah.
Like, is that a hospital for space to get cured from spaceness?
Yeah, when you space out, you go to the space hospital.
What about when you need some space?
No, you go to the... Well, at that point, you just go to Mars.
Nah, I hear Mars is pretty crappy.
There's no one on Mars to bother you.
Well, here's that annoying idiot.
Hello, Carter Burke. I work for the company. I'm a sleazy 80s guy. You know what's weird about the hypersleep in the Aliens movies is I'm never exactly sure how long they're out for, because, like, sometimes it feels like they've been, like, asleep for, like multiple years in a row, and I'm like, so when Ripley was gonna get back from her trip to go see her daughter Amanda, was she expecting her to be, like, 3 or 4 years older? Or can your kids just hypersleep on Earth and wait for you?
They could if you want them to. I'm not sure you would.
57. I thought it was straight 50, but it's 57.
50 is that would sound a little bit weird.
What a specific number. 50. That's crazy. It's almost like someone wasn't creative when they wrote this and just picked a number.
It's almost as if we give you a sale of $1 million with a 50% discount.
I wonder if that's the same cat from the first movie.
I doubt it, because this is like 4 years later.
It's actually like 8 years later, man. Let's see, it was 79 was the first one. This one's 86. Oh.
Panic attack!
It's okay. She's just having an allergic reaction to oxygen.
To water in her blood.
She drank the water and then is just dying. Flint Marco. Oh God, that's so... Ugh. I love that scene.
I don't.
I love every scene in here.
I don't. Really? You're just looking up trivia on IMDb?
Hey, look, my phone's ringing. I forgot that it does that. Okay, the phone in my house, there's a short in the line, so it only rings in the basement and never anywhere else.
And we're not gonna answer it because we're terrible people.
Savannah College of Art. I told you, I don't want to go to your bullshit college.
SCAD is actually pretty highly rated.
I don't want to go to SCAD. I'm not a SCAD man. Anyway.
It's actually a good...
I like this weird simulated room she's in where she's just looking at a window that's not there. Like, I think the Resident Evil movie ripped that off.
But Wasn't not as good?
Because they were like, yeah, when everyone's underground for a long time, they start to freak out, so we have a bunch of fake projection windows around, so it looks like there's trees.
No, it was the skyscrapers outside.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello, Stimpy. All the cats are coming down.
Oh, God.
It's a catastrophe.
That's... okay. Oh. Hey, guys, spoilers for Alien Isolation. You get trapped on the spaceship from Alien Isolation for 50 years.
And then you die.
Yeah.
VidComp.
I think it's kind of weird to watch this now after playing Alien Isolation. Also, that's some really, like... I love how pixely that is, because it takes place in, like, 300 years.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about your old lady, daughter.
It's like Captain America, who wants to try and have sex with his granddaughter.
No, it's his niece, and also it's not his niece because Peggy Carter moved on after him.
Peggy Carter said it was, Peggy Carter said that was incestuous.
Like the actress?
The actress.
I mean, it was pretty weird in the comics, too. I like this corporate boardroom of in space.
And, of course, everybody smokes in the future in an inside space where the air is recycled, so that everybody in the space station can experience secondhand smoke. I'm pretty sure that in the future, if they're in space, then cigarettes would be banned. But hey, it's a corporate board meeting, so you have to have cigarettes.
What if it's like in an all-oxygen environment, you light up the flame to light your cigarette and just set everything on fire?
Mm-hmm.
I like how they seem to be more concerned about the ship that she blew up 57 years ago. Like, none of these people were born yet. And they're like, hey, you wasted all kinds of money. It's like, fuck you, dude. You were like you either didn't exist or were like 2. I think in the 57 years, the company has been able to, like, recoup the losses, you know?
Big ships are expensive.
But Ripley, we went to that planet, and it didn't have anything on it. In fact, we just decided to build a whole city there, right on top of the aliens.
What did they do with the ship, though?
You'll see. It's still there. It's just like kind of off to the side. It's as far from the city as your house is from mine.
So did they find the black goo on that ship from Prometheus?
I don't know, man. I certainly hope the black goo is... Okay, so basically the black goo only exists on just one ship. Like, all the different Prometheus ships have a different bioweapon and create a different form of xenomorph, I guess. It doesn't... It just... Ugh. Hey, give me my phone back before you tweet something horrible. No! Don't turn it off! Oh. Damn you.
Said license is suspended.
I like how he says at this time, just in case they change their minds later.
Hello, Stimpy. He has the way his eyes catch the light are the same way that replicant eyes catch the light.
replicants are designed based on cat DNA. Did you know that?
No. Did you?
Yes. In fact, Bishop in the Alien universe is half cat. I love how the sequel managed to set up, like, it didn't have to come up with some dumb thing like Ripley dies in the first 5 minutes because she had an alien in her. Like,
that's stupid.
Yeah. If only they didn't do that immediately after this for Alien 3. But, no, like, I like that they're just like, nah, yeah, we set up a whole city there. It's fine.
Like, that's a really crappy city.
It's a really crappy sign. Also, who's that sign for? No one who's gonna see it?
Well, once they terraform the planet, it's gonna be the capital city of this place.
The capital city of your planet has that shitty of a sign?
Yeah. That's
Looks
a
like
cool
he's
model.
painted on. Yeah, I love that. That's cool. I think that's. You know, the scaling has always confused me because I start to wonder, like, is that, like, half the size of a person? Is that, like, a Hot Wheels car? Like, how exactly did they do that?
It's a Hot Wheels car, I'm pretty sure.
Because it looks pretty good. These models are all great. And then look at that. That's just, like, seamless.
It's not seamless. You can tell that the people in the rooms were green screened in.
Well, okay, it was just very...
They were blue screened.
It's very good blue screen.
For the 1980s. For today, it's not that great.
I think you're a lot rougher on special effects than I am.
Well, that's because my eyes are better.
Damn, you got me, son. I love these hallway sets because it's kind of like, it just has more of this industrial feel, you know? This looks like the inside of a factory, you know?
You know those factories that don't exist in America anymore?
All those factories that were outsourced to other countries, like Canada. No.
Yeah, Canada's evil. We like Mexico.
I love Mexico.
But Canada's
my favorite
garbage.
person is from Mexico.
Weyland-Yutani.
So,
building better worlds.
If
Clearly.
you play the Predator Concrete Jungle game, it actually explains the origin of how. It explains the origin of the mother robot, and then Alien vs. Predator explains the or Alien vs. Predator Requiem ends with the Weyland-Yutani Corporation getting together.
That must be a pretty interesting corporate merger between the Weyland Company from Prometheus and Yutani.
Yutani, which is some, like, Japanese company.
That does, like, colonization or something.
Yeah.
Is that a bigger merger than Fiat Chrysler?
It's of similar scope. I gotta tell you, man, Alien vs. Predator Requiem, I actually went back and rewatched that recently, and boy, is it kind of fucking stupid and weird to see predators and aliens running around in an urban environment, especially one so close to home. You know, that movie takes place like a 2-hour drive from where I live.
Where is it?
It's in, like, Gunnison.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just weird seeing, like, xenomorphs in a neighborhood or in, like, a modern day hospital. Like, that, it doesn't work at all.
There's the alien ship, I guess.
The Predator can hang out in, like, cities and the jungle, and the Predator you can put wherever, just because the whole point is he hunts in cool places. But with the Alien, I feel like if you take it out of a sci-fi setting, it just becomes, oh, there's a monster. You know, like, you should never have a xenomorph in your bedroom in your house in Colorado. Like, fuck that. We'll be right back. Things will go fine. You know, Alien Isolation also does a job of explaining how the distress signal inside of the ship was shut off.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they go in through the same entrance. No, I think they're walking in through a different spot. Yeah. You know, with the atmosphere on this planet, I feel like the outside of this ship would have been eroded to nothing, but after like a little while. But
depends. Hey,
what's the ship made of?
It's made of.
Is it made of some kind of space metal that lets it not get eroded by heavy wind flow for like 2,000 years? Although, you know, I was reading stuff from like trivia from Alien 1, and one of the producers was talking about how the I read it off in the first like watch of Alien 1. It's kind of weird because like the underground segment where all the eggs were not made by the space jockeys. That's like a temple made by xenomorphs, I guess, was what he said. And I'm like, dude, I don't think the lore that came after supports that. And I also don't ever think it would make sense for the xenomorphs to build something. Hey, I'd be screaming too. What if you and your family just went out for like a normal day at the beach or whatever, and then you lose track of them for like an hour, and then your dad comes back and he's got a horrible space parasite monster hand like laying eggs down his throat? I would also be upset.
Nah.
Look at this existential crisis that's going on.
I guess it depends on how much you like your dad.
I like her shitty space apartment. Like, the hallway has trash in it.
And I like how everybody
smokes.
Everybody smokes in space. Like, do you know how dangerous that would be if there were a fire?
There's a lot of places in this movie, like the earlier section, where I would totally live there. I'd live in this space apartment. Like, they tried to make it look shitty, but the fact that it's in space sells it.
It's also a shitty apartment.
Look at that. That ain't bad. You got your space cabinets and your space coffee maker.
And your space bathroom.
Look at that big square space TV that's not on right now, so I guess it just glows white.
Gorman. Isn't he kind of a useless idiot?
Yeah, Gorman sucks. We'll get to the cool military dudes in a sec. So did you know this movie's like a metaphor for Vietnam?
I don't care.
Okay.
Hey, did you know that you're a metaphor for Vietnam?
I can't wait till we get to the character that Halo ripped off, like, wholesale, just lifted his entire, like, design and even, like, copied his voice.
Which one?
You'll see.
Oh, it's the black guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Ah.
You're the black guy.
Let's go, Marines.
For all we know, Xavier could be black. I mean, we've never seen his face.
You're right. You have no idea. Or I'm actually imaginary.
That's true. He's imaginary.
Is that a space towel dispenser in the background that he just walked by?
He's also wearing a space bathrobe.
What makes a space bathrobe different from a normal bathrobe?
It's a bathrobe in space.
Oh, God. I'm sold. I'll buy 10. It's kind of funny how even though it's 200 years in the future and everyone seems to be wearing different clothes, like business suits are still more or less the same.
That's something that I like about Babylon 5 is that because it's in the future, the business suits are similar, but they're a little bit different.
Although his collar is like popped up in one spot.
They don't have ties in the future. They have these weird like collar things.
You know what sci-fi thing did really cool wardrobe design for like just every outfit was Batman Beyond, where it looked normal enough that it wasn't like weird clothes, but there was just some kind of like different stylization to things. Like everything had like a lot of squares on it, you know, or the collar on your shirt was like shaped differently.
See,
I had another one of those crazy space nightmares. You know what? I'm sure she has PTSD out the wazoo.
look, see, this is a spacesuit in Babylon, like a business suit in Babylon 5.
Oh wow, that'll translate well for audio. Okay, it's got buttons and no tie.
And no collar to it as well.
Yeah, that's weird, but cool.
I like it because it looks like an evolution of modern day suits.
Hey Ripley, do you want to go?
Have some face sweat.
Do you want to have some face sweat? We're just gonna. Everyone in this movie is gonna have glycerol all over them. I like how you have to have punch cards to call people. Like, what the fuck is that?
The future.
How does that work?
I think it's funny how like the way the future like the way you use technology in the future has changed with the way we interact with technology.
Yeah.
Like in Prometheus, it's all like touch screens and shiny holograms and all that stuff.
Which pisses me off because that's before this.
And the excuse
what happened?
The excuse they give is that it's a private scientific thing, so it's a lot better funded than some shitty space trucker who would use a lot lower grade technology.
But even still, okay, so I heard a separate excuse, and I talked about this in my Isolation Let's Play.
That I didn't watch?
Well, you know, no one did. But still, look, even that spaceship was used in Halo. A lot of Halo, like the very first one, Combat Evolved, is very much inspired by this. I'm not gonna, I won't say
except
just
that
stole
it doesn't
things.
have the xenomorphs.
The xenomorphs? Well, there's some of the
xenosmurfs?
The xenosmurfs. Fun fact about the term xenomorph is that it's actually not technically the name of the alien.
You're an alien.
Because I think either Gorman or the slimy business guy throws out the term xenomorph before they go down to the planet. And the fact that he says that would imply that they've met these aliens before, which they haven't. So the idea is that if you look at the roots of xenomorph, it's just like unknown life form, Like, so basically xenomorph just means thing that's not human, which you could apply to a whole fuckload of characters in this universe, So
Bishop's a xenomorph.
Bishop is a xenomorph. There's the Predators.
They're not in this universe.
They are in this universe.
They are not.
I consider
Alien versus Predator is not canon.
I consider some of the comics canon.
They're not none of the comics are canon. None of them. Not
I consider
one.
them in my heart.
Not one of them.
Look, it's Master Chief.
Master Chief in his
cryopod.
Cryopod. I love how the cryopods in Prometheus are a lot more shiny and like less industrial, and these are like more metallic and less.
These look like something you'd like transport like cattle in like a slaughterhouse. Like you just need something to put meat in.
And they're more metallic. And
they look like just like a weird type of refrigerator.
They're less like shiny iPods that you put your body in.
Everything in modern sci-fi design looks like an iPod.
The new Enterprise looks like an Apple store.
So, one thing I think is really cool about how, of course, this movie was shot out of sequence, but a lot of the earliest scenes filmed were with these characters, like, hanging out. But they actually had spent a whole bunch of time together prior to the movie. Like, James Cameron had these guys hang out and become, like, buddies over the course of, like, a couple months before they started filming, so they'd have, like, a real camaraderie. Hey, there's Bill Paxton.
No, he's not. He's not there anymore.
Oh, shut up. Bill Paxton is always there in my heart.
No, he's not.
just like the canon of those movies. Man, Sigourney Weaver ends up wearing that outfit a lot.
She wears underwear a lot.
She wears that outfit well.
She underwears a lot.
I think Vasquez is my favorite just because, like... I love this piece of dialogue here. This is like my favorite in the whole movie. What they say. You're just like the Power Glove.
Remember when bad was good back in the 80s?
I'm bad. Yeah.
Back when Michael Jackson was...
back before Michael Jackson was disgraced by society.
Back when Michael Jackson was a black person.
Sometimes I'm so confused and dumbfounded by that whole thing that I just reject that part of history from my brain, so Michael Jackson always looks how he did in the Thriller video to me. Like, I just completely reject the image of him in the last few years. You see, like, they were all told to hang out for, like, a couple months before this came out, just so they could, you know, get to know each other, and their scenes would feel more real. It's the same as how, like, in the first Alien movie, the guy who plays Parker was told to be, like, a huge dick to Sigourney Weaver between takes, just so there would be more tension. If I was a robot man who could process this kind of thing, I would be messing with my human buddies all the time doing this stuff.
Well, they don't have emotions.
He does. Kinda. Sort of.
Speeding up the footage!
It's an effective trick. Awesome. What if he fucked it up and sliced his whole hand? Like, just clean off?
What if he intentionally did that?
He would if he was Ash.
Ash Ketchum?
Okay, so there's this weird thing in the Alien movies, and I don't believe it's intentional, but there's Ash, A, there's Bishop, B, and then I can't remember the name of the one from Resurrection, but her name starts with the letter C. And then there's David and Prometheus.
And there's Walter in Alien Covenant. And David.
Oh, well, Walter fucks up that whole thing now, then. I'm sorry, are you a space racist? She's old, she comes from a different generation. I like how they have a politically correct term for androids, and they call them artificial persons. I like how he explains it away. Yeah, they just were a little bit twitchy.
And then they blew up.
He fucking tried to stuff a magazine down my throat, asshole. Of course I don't like robots. Oh. Hey, you know something cool? Lance Henriksen, he was in the first Terminator because he was going to play the Terminator. And
until they got that Austrian idiot.
Until they got that Austrian bodybuilder who looked more intimidating, but could barely speak English. So,
but
I'll be back.
He's good. Arnold Schwarzenegger's only good role was when he didn't have to act.
Hey, he was pretty good in Terminator 2.
That's what I'm saying.
In Terminator 2, he acted a little. He acted really robotic, but that was the point.
All I'm saying is that what's his name? Brent Spiner did the whole artificial person a lot more interestingly than Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think that the best performance of anybody playing an artificial person is Data.
Okay.
Brent Spiner is so good as Data. Like, occasionally, especially in the movies, he got really cheesy, like, life forms, some tiny little life forms.
By the way, just a second ago, he said that they were going to find a xenomorph down there, and, like, I think I like the theory that that's just him throwing out some like some special college boy words to confuse all these military dudes into not like being 100% on board. You know, because if they knew what they were gonna go down there and fight, they wouldn't have fucking gone. Which was, again, this is kind of like, you know, there's a lot of Vietnam parallels thrown in here just for fun, I guess. But the whole idea is that he's just like, yeah, alien entity, xenomorph, you know? And they're like, all right, whatever. And, you know, it's just kind of sort of him trying to trick them. So I don't technically consider xenomorph the actual name for the alien. I think that's more of just like, I think it's just cooler if it's just called the alien, you know? In fact, the more we know about that species, the less, like, cool it becomes.
On disc? Like,
yeah.
What kind of disc?
Do you have a special space disc? And then he just holds up, like, a record. Look at this future disc.
A vinyl record.
Yeah.
Insert it into your giant white TV in the wall. And that's kind of like my favorite thing about watching science fiction movies is seeing the technology change over time.
Yeah.
Like how in the 60s with Star Trek they had the tiny little computer screens and the computer goes, working. And then they had these like giant giant cards that you'd stick into the computer.
Well, earlier Ripley put in a punch card into her space Skype. But I gotta wonder.
Then in the 90s, they have like these weird future USBs things called isolinear chips, and then they have pads, which are basically tablets, and then they have like,
you know what?
a combat.
I like how I like the weird idea that they had, that they kind of accidentally invented like flash drives in RoboCop, because he just has a blade that comes out of his hand that he can use to stick in like sockets and computers and interface with them. And, by the way, he accidentally plugs into, like, a computer and creates Skynet. Do you know RoboCop is the origin of Skynet, according to some comics?
No!
RoboCop versus Terminator, man!
This is so dumb!
Oh, and also at the end of the first RoboCop movie, he uses his little flash drive blade thing to stab someone in, like, the throat. It was awesome.
Not everything needs to be connected.
It's all connected!
I want to make an editorial about that. Not everything needs to be connected.
Hashtag it's all connected Marvel Universe.
Like for example,
Sergeant Johnson. Where's Master Chief?
Oh, he's dealing with the Covenant and the Flood. We
The Covenant? You mean the Alien Covenant?
Roll credits. Hello, Ripley. You're gonna do a thing to prove that you can do a thing.
Look how cool I am, everybody. I can use this weird turbo power lifter thing.
I thought it was funny how she's part of it is that she's showing off, and part of it is setting up for the climax.
It's cool. It's a cool setup. I mean, it's a cool prop. Like, it just moves really well. I could totally see people using this as a thing to move around like heavy equipment someday. God damn, that thing's cool. I bet, like, all over the alien universe, like, in, like, the civilian sectors, if they have those, people are constantly using them to just, like do fights in their backyard.
Where do you want it? Pay 12, please.
Where do you want it?
Where do you want it?
Where do you want it? The ass.
Yeah.
I love the designs for the guns in here. Like the pulse rifle. I actually have a t-shirt with the pulse rifle on it, and it has a caption that says "Peace through superior firepower."
I like how they're just sort of showing off. Ha ha ha. Look at how...
Well, those two are like buddies, so they would probably mess around like that. I could buy that. That sounds like something we would do.
Just brandishing dangerous weapons inside of a giant thing that's full of explosives.
Yeah, dude!
Because
hey, by the way, this is the opening level of Alien Colonial Marines. Remember that game? Remember that game, David?
No.
Aliens Colonial Marines?
Well, well, Kermit, I never played it.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Kermit, I never played that game.
I wasn't trying to do Kermit, but I accidentally did Kermit.
You did Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog. I don't know. That's not even that close to Kermit.
Kermit the Frog.
Look at these Space Marines! What a kick-ass concept, Space
Loud
Marines.
noises!
Shut up, Steve Carell.
Did I mention that my brother wanted to be a Marine, but then he couldn't because he has a peanut allergy? And they use, like, tons of peanut oil in the MREs.
Ha! What a nerd.
Yeah, what a nerd wanting to be a soldier. Yeah, so
yeah! Alright, everyone, let's get into this very,
cramped.
It's not actually that cramped. This is pretty spacious. I'd live in this very large troop transport.
Well, you're a very small person.
You're a small person. On the inside. Stop kicking me. Ow. Stop it. Ow. Ow. Audience, go unsubscribe from David so he'll stop kicking me.
No, subscribe to David so I
Ow.
keep kicking him.
Stop it. Ah. Now you've put them at an impasse. They don't know what to do. Don't make the children choose between us.
We're
Ow.
not wanting a divorce.
Stop it.
Yeah, you have gotten tubby.
No, you.
No, I've always been that way.
Oh, okay.
So
Stop
it's not a change.
kicking me. Stop it. We're trying to be professional, David.
They subscribed specifically to your channel because you're unprofessional.
Oh. This is weird. Please stop.
That's why I'm doing it.
I don't like it. And the audience has no idea what you're doing. So this is just audio that people are gonna... Stop fucking... I'm gonna stab you.
What with?
This marker here.
Just do it on my hand.
Hold on. Hold on, I have to write something horrible on your hand.
Don't.
So your mom's gonna be like, "Why'd you write that, son?" And you could be like, "Oh, well, you know, I wouldn't stop kicking at Xavier." So... Ow.
Oh, hey, look! They're flying around the planet from that one simulation in Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan.
You fucking nerd.
I fly.
Okay, this is the one effect shot in this movie that just
Yeah.
kind of doesn't hold up.
Stock footage with our model, a blue screen with our stock footage blue screened into the background.
Yeah. I like how that guy's name is Spunkmeyer. You could tell they put a lot of thought into naming that guy.
You can, I'll bet he was made fun of in high school.
Just like you. By the way, today is the last day of high school, David. Are you excited?
Like, are you?
No. It was really anticlimactic, and it was 4 years of bullshit for nothing.
Did you eat the burgers at the barbecue?
I'm gonna stab you.
Did you eat the burgers at the barbecue?
Yes, I did eat burgers at the barbecue. Stop. Stop it. If I jam this marker far enough into the back of your knee, you'll stop. Ow! Stop hitting me. What is that a nail file?
Yes.
Why'd you break it in half?
Because it's very pathetic.
You're pathetic.
Is it upside down or downside up?
Oh my god, like 15 minutes of this commentary is gonna be you just, like, being annoying.
Well, this is like the fun part where you're just like, this is why I
This
think
is better for couch potatoes when they can see this. Here it's just like a bunch of sounds of us grunting.
so.
Someone's gonna isolate this audio and just make like a porn parody. Ow.
You just can't get out of there, can you?
I will bite you if you don't let go. God damn it. You doubt that I do it? Ow. Stop it.
Check it out. Sigourney Weaver.
I'm trying to watch this movie.
Hey, Ripley.
I will draw on your fucking face.
Hey, don't worry. I'm gonna flirt with you in an annoying and obvious fashion.
I never said Hudson was a great guy. I just said he was funny.
Bill Paxton.
So you saw the whole first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Like the first half.
Okay.
Like right after the Winter Soldier thing.
Yeah, he was in there.
Oh yeah, he was the evil guy who
Yeah,
pretended to be a friend.
And then he became a cyborg for like 5 minutes, and then died immediately. So that makes Bill Paxton the only actor to be
An idiot.
killed by Terminator, Predator, Alien, and
Some random idiot from S.H.I.E.L.D.
and Phil Coulson.
Well, the Phil Coulson thing isn't to be proud of.
I like how Joss Whedon was like, yeah, as far as the movies are concerned, Phil Coulson's dead, and his brother is the showrunner for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and was like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, I don't think he's ever going to be coming back to the movies.
Jed Whedon's having a great time with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He just keeps making more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and you know, as much as a problem I have with that show, I bet he's having a good time. But then Joss Whedon, you know.
Hey, did you know that Joss Whedon comes from, like, a family of screenwriters?
Really?
Like, his father or his grandfather was a writer on the Andy Griffith Show.
Huh, I did not know that.
Yeah. I saw it. My dad loves to watch the Andy Griffith Show. So I saw his name, like, a Whedon in the credits.
And then you're like, wait, I gotta look that up.
And then I Googled it, and it's like, oh, wow. Structure
Well,
seems
I don't think the aliens are gonna, like, knock the place over.
So his dad was Tom Whedon, who's a screenwriter, who wrote for, let's see.
And
he
Jed
wrote for Captain's Kangaroo.
Okay.
The Muppets. He wrote a bunch of, like, kids' TV.
What about Jed Whedon? That is his brother, right?
He's the son of John Whedon. And John Whedon wrote for the Andy Griffith Show, the Dick Van Dyke Show, Leave It to Beaver, and the Donna Reed Show.
Huh.
And then his son was Tom Whedon, and then Joss Whedon is a third generation screenwriter.
But where does Jed fit in?
Jed is his brother,
Okay.
half brother.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, I can't remember if they were brothers or like cousins.
Jed Whedon is his half brother, and Zach Whedon is his other half brother.
Huh. Hey, how come they all have such... Okay, how come Joss has such a weird foreign accent if his parents have been writing American TV shows all this time?
Maybe because he's a weirdo?
Maybe he just puts on... Because I think I watched an interview with Jed Whedon and he didn't have that accent. So does that mean Joss just kept the accent for no reason?
See, Joss Whedon,
Maybe he just, he
was
likes
born
to sound...
in New York.
He was born in New York?
He got a degree from, he went to Wesleyan University.
Where's that?
It's also the same college that Michael Bay went to. It's in Middletown, Connecticut.
Connecticut.
So it's one of the forgettable New England ones that isn't Massachusetts.
Joss Whedon kind of reminds me of David Cage.
Joss Whedon, he can write jokes really well.
But what about other stuff?
And that's about it.
Yeah, there you go. That's my problem.
It's like, my problem with him is that...
He was the guy who broke the MCU and made it so that every character told jokes.
As a director, he doesn't really have that much of... He's not that good at doing action, and he's not very good at placing the camera. He doesn't have a very good visual sensibility, and his writing is just okay.
Well, that's why Alien Resurrection, sure, you could also buy his argument of the studio kept interfering. But, Alien Resurrection is, by and large, the worst Alien movie, I think. Just because, what a dumb premise, what a dumb setup, and what a bunch of dumb characters. There's nothing redeemable about that movie. And... except for maybe a scene where Ripley is a half alien and beats everyone at basketball because she's got xenomorph blood.
Apparently being good at basketball is a xenomorph thing.
We keep calling him a xenomorph just because that's been
I mean, what else do you call it? An alien?
Yeah. These set designs are amazing.
I like how this is the tension part of the movie, and we're just talking over it, so there's no tension here whatsoever.
Well, yeah. Well, of course, as with the last one, if you haven't watched this movie before, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go do that. Don't listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if this is your first time watching this movie while listening to us, turn our video off and come back later.
Yeah.
I like how there's not like tense score right now. We talked about this the other day. If this movie were made today, it would be like dun 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 dun. You know, like
there'd be like some water phones playing in the background.
Yeah.
A water phone is an actual musical instrument, by the way.
What the fuck is that?
Have you ever watched a horror movie before? And you listen to the weird, like, thing in the background?
Oh, that.
That's a water phone.
Huh. I didn't know the name for that. I learned something today.
It's because there's water.
Ooh, look at this space laundry room or whatever. I'd sleep in here.
You'd sleep anywhere.
Yeah, you know, you know what?
You would sleep in the trash compactor from Star Wars.
Okay, maybe I'd have like a party with a couple of friends in there, but I don't think I'd sleep in there, man.
You would.
Like, okay, if the water didn't give you AIDS to stand in, and there wasn't a tentacle monster, I would maybe hang out in that trash compactor a little. But for the most part, I don't think I'd like live there. But you know what? I think that's one thing that I love about sci-fi movies is I always go to I always look at the interior design of starship places and go, you know, I would sleep there. In that weird crew quarters from Star Trek that just looks kind of like a normal living room with metal walls.
Yeah, I feel like I like the design of the one from the Next Generation, because it just feels like ordinary. It feels like a house.
Yeah,
like it doesn't feel like I don't like the new this Star Trek Discovery design, because it looks a little bit too metallic and a little bit too like empty. It doesn't feel like a place that people would be living in. Like the set design from the original Star Trek, the TNG. It looks... I love it. It's so comfortable and homey.
Well, it's just because there's such, like, bright lighting and everything's so inviting.
It's like a sitcom, because that's cheap.
Yeah, well, you know, I feel like if you saw a potted plant in the background somewhere on one of those sets, it wouldn't look out of place.
Yeah. Like, I don't like how the lighting in Star Trek Discovery is a little bit too cinematic.
It looks like this.
Because, like... It's a starship where people are living in every day.
I like how the acid is, like, so massive that it's a human-sized hole. Like, someone must have killed an entire alien upstairs, and then it just kept falling through the floors.
Like you.
It's not secure. No, the area is secure. It's fine.
Get their CPU online. Get their...
Yes?
The person who made this movie obviously doesn't know computers.
Nobody knew computers because it was 1986.
Computer people knew computers.
Computer people weren't writing movies at the time, David.
They should have been.
If they were involved, they were doing the 1982 CGI for Tron.
1987 CGI for Tron.
No, Tron came out in 82, didn't it?
I don't know, and I don't care. Stop it.
You stop it. You started this.
And I'm gonna finish it.
Ow! Stop! Yeah, you earned this. You deserve it now. I'm gonna... This doesn't sound funny at all to the audience, by the way. Alright, fine. I'll just sit like this for the rest of the time. God, this is weird. Stop it. Ow! I don't want to share a couch with you. I'm gonna go sit over there.
Good luck having the microphone picked up from over there.
Fuck you. Alright, I live over here now on this pile of unfolded laundry. Hello, audience.
Well, hello once again, audience.
There we go.
What? What's going on? I can't move.
Yeah, that's right.
Help! Help me!
Take this. Oh, there's a pair of scissors over there. If worse comes to worse, I can just kill you with that. Stop making these noises. Stop it. Oh my god.
You know what my favorite scene in this movie is?
The scene where you keep making sex noises and ruining it?
No, it's the scene in the hospital when she's locked into the room.
What? Oh, yeah, that one. Well, yeah. Would you work here? I feel like the lighting would get kind of depressing.
Well, I feel like this is not the lighting it would look like actually, but it's
I don't know. We saw this place earlier, and in the
it was
hallways,
better lit. It was better
dark.
lit than this.
Yeah.
Like this is just like nobody's put anything on in like
everybody ran away or got killed. Who was the crazy person who was like, you know, maybe we should grab a couple of those face huggers and just put them in a jar and just see what they do? That's the right thing to do with them. I love this jump scare. Oh, sorry, audience, I spoiled it.
What? What jump scare? Oh yeah, I remember this.
Put your face right up against that glass. It's a great idea. What? It's fine. God, that looks gross.
Like, this is where a practical puppet is better.
Oh, absolutely. Because that looked really fucking disgusting. And, you know, H.R. Geiger's design was great because it... I mean, look at the bottom of that thing. It looks like 8 different sex organs at once.
Like the one from Prometheus doesn't look this creepy. It just looked kind of dumb.
Like the
giant squid.
Yeah, the giant squid face hugger that Noomi Rapace aborted from herself with a laser. And then it was a giant space face hugger, and then it jumped on a giant man and implanted a giant alien baby in him. And then a small child-sized xenomorph popped out, which looks vaguely like an alien queen, but isn't one.
It's just that it was implanted in a different...
I feel like that scene was added at the last minute to, like, appease some pissed-off producer who's like, hey, how come there's no this is an alien movie, right? Where are the aliens?
Ow! Fine, you can have your place back.
Can I?
Yes.
Can I sit where... Yeah, take that. You stay on your side of the couch. Nobody will get hurt.
Except for you.
Oh, God. I'll get hurt emotionally.
Yes.
The audience will get hurt by the heartbreak of us arguing. Arguing about something that's your fault.
We're gonna get divorced.
Oh, God. Man. Alright, everyone make sure to go dislike David's newest video. I don't know what it is. But
it's still subject to change right now, unless you're watching this.
Hey, when are we going to record another one of those?
Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
So tomorrow.
Aren't you doing something tomorrow?
No, my parents are doing something tomorrow, so I can't get the car.
His flashlight looks weird because it doesn't have, like, a thing to contain the bulb
Oh, hi,
on it.
random little girl.
Hey, what's up? You're going to get ripped off in Resident Evil very shortly after this.
And you're going to get ripped off even more.
Sherry Birkin!
You're going to get ripped off even harder in Spectral.
Oh, yeah.
Because Spectral is basically aliens, but garbage. Spectral is aliens, but garbage. Spectre
for the
is just
first
garbage.
Alien movie, I think they just used, like, upturned crates to make the grating on the floor. Like, you know, the plastic ones.
The ones that you buy at a grocery store?
The ones that you buy at a grocery store and then, like, leave laying around in video games as to imply that the area is dirty. You know, this is a neat little encampment. I mean, I feel like the lighting above from the spinning fan thing is a little annoying, but I'd sleep here. Maybe I'm just really tired.
You're tired. You're talking about how you're sleeping everywhere. Like, I was responsible. Like, the night before my finals, I went to bed at 10:30.
The night before my finals, I went to bed at 3 a.m.
I went to bed before midnight.
And you know what? I passed that final like a boss.
I did the calculations, and I could have gotten a 0 on my final, and I could have still passed the class.
Wow.
That's the advantage.
No, you're probably an alien in disguise, nice lady. Nice lady.
Why did you suddenly become Gilbert Gottfried?
I don't know.
How did Gilbert Gottfried becomes Gilbert Gottfried?
Well, you ever read Preacher?
Mm-mm.
So, an angel and a devil, had sex, and the result was Gilbert Gottfried and his magnificent voice. And the plot of Preacher is that everyone in the universe needs to kill Gilbert Gottfried.
I thought Gilbert Gottfried was about Seth Rogen or something.
What?
Seth Rogen produced that show.
That show is based on a comic book.
It's based on Seth Rogen's comic book.
Seth Rogen? No, that's Garth Ennis. God damn it. Stop feeding misinformation. It's only funny when I do that.
Why can't I do the same things that you do? I'm smarter.
Because you don't have rights.
Because I'm smarter than he is. And that's a fact.
That's a fact, Jack.
Yes,
I
is.
like the way you said that.
Like, log on to your infinite campus.
Oh God, you're gonna use grades? Grades as a measure of intelligence? David, this is why you won't make it far in the business world. It's not about numbers. It's how many people you can seduce into buying your timeshare.
That's only if you're talking about Trump's businesses.
Oh, come on. Oh, dude. Come on.
You know, I really like this relationship between Sigourney Ripley and Newt Gunray.
Yeah.
Because it's like, my main complaint with the first Alien is that
there wasn't really
a main character.
It was more like just a bunch of random characters, and only one of them got away.
And I didn't really care that any of them died. There was a lot of suspense about how they would die and why, but it wasn't like, oh no, this person that I like died. It was like, oh no, this random person I don't care about died. I guess cool.
Well, as here it tries to give, because
Like,
Ripley just lost her daughter in a very strange and sci-fi way, but now she's kind of found like a surrogate to help her move on.
And of course, there's all these guys who are kind of cheesy and stupid, but they have personalities.
They have charisma and the fact that they're so cheesy and goofy.
They're goofy. They're like those dumb kids you have at your high school.
Yeah, those dumb kids at high school where you're like, I should hate you, but I don't.
Yeah.
Let's be friends.
Yeah.
I wonder how old this actress is right now.
So she was like, if she's like 10 or something.
I think she was 11.
11 in 1986, because they shot it in 86. It came out in 87. No, 1985.
They shot it in 85, yeah.
85, and she was 11. So she was born in 74. So if she's born in 74, as a rough estimate, she's 43?
43, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder what she's doing these days. I bet the actress who plays Newt is like...
Newt Gunray?
Newt Gunray. I bet right now she owns like an investment firm or something, or like is a lawyer, and then just for fun she can be like, hey, have you seen the movie Aliens? I was the little girl in that, and people could be like, what? No way. And she'd be like, yeah, Google it.
Yeah. It's like
so
how...
a lot of child actors
It's
do
like
that.
how Bill Mooney was on Babylon 5 like 30 years after he was a kid actor on Lost in Space, and you're like, oh, hi.
Oh, what? Hey, what's up?
And he actually did a really good performance, although he's kind of like a side character.
It's better than like other child actors who like don't like keep their acting ability into adulthood, but keep trying to stay relevant anyway.
Or it's better than Macaulay Culkin, who just went literally insane.
Hey, you know what? He at least went insane in a funny way. Bishop, what are you doing? Well, I'm just
I like
playing
how he
with
has
this
like the
food.
weird, creepy, like the narrow cheekbones that creepy people have.
There's something a little off-putting about Bishop. Like, he doesn't...
He has the creepy British cheekbones. You know,
Yeah.
like how they tried to give Angelina Jolie them in Maleficent, but it just looks silly because they overcooked it.
Yeah.
If you have like really narrow cheekbones, then you look creepy. Like Peter Cushing had that look.
You know what? Lance Henriksen was a great choice to show up as one of the killers in Hannibal. Spoilers.
Aye, sir. Let's go.
If you haven't seen the show Hannibal, you should absolutely go check it out.
Yeah.
Although, you know, I'm a little disappointed in Lance Henriksen for playing his character in fucking Alien Colonial Marines.
He needs money.
Yeah. There was another actor that showed up in Colonial Marines. I can't remember which. I think it was Michael Biehn, came back as Hicks. Okay, so something I really wanted to talk about for this is that there's actually a sequel that was made to this in comic book form, and I think it's better than any of the actual movie sequels. It's just called Alien Book 1, and it takes place like 10 years later, and it shows what Hicks and Newt are doing after this.
I think that's kind of like what's his name?
Yeah, the guy who directed District 9, Neil Blomkamp.
South African weirdo wants to do with his fanfic.
Yeah, because he became friends with Sigourney Weaver while filming Chappie,
and Sigourney Weaver really loved District 9.
Yeah,
so
and then he's like, "Hey, check out these drawings. Here's you in an alien helmet.
Here's my alien fanfiction. You want to make it?
Do you want to do it?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then Ridley Scott was like, "Okay, we're gonna change the title from Prometheus something. And
Prometheus 2 to Alien Paradise Lost to Alien Covenant." And now, so then Fox said, "You know what? Instead of the guy who made the robot movie with Hugh Jackman talking about how he's a Christian right after how he shoved his gun into somebody's face, let's have the guy who just made The Martian."
Yeah. Let's have the guy who... Well, you know what? I think also it helps that he made the first movie, too. Because, like, hey, remember Alien?
Ridley Scott. If Ridley Scott says, "I want to make more Alien movies," are you really going to say no?
I mean, sure, he's kind of gone a little crazy lately. Especially now that he's, like...
He's 80 years old now.
Yeah.
He's like your grandpa, and he's still making movies. Which is good
he
for
looks
him.
Surprisingly healthy for being 80. Because I just saw, like, some behind-the-scenes footage the other day of Alien Covenant. And, you know, he's still running around. He's got that look of enthusiasm. Like, sure, he takes it seriously. But it was cool seeing him walk onto the set.
It's not like George Lucas came back 30 years after he made his movie, and he's just sitting in an armchair sipping coffee.
All right, we gotta get through another scene. Let's go, everybody.
Although James Cameron's pretty cool, too, because 30 years later, he's shooting 4 Avatar sequels back to back to back to back.
At least James Cameron is excited about it, you know?
Yeah, and the one thing that I do think is cool about the Avatar sequels is that he pushed them back, not because of production delays or because of an actor, but because he wanted time to get the scripts ready.
Well, you know what? That I appreciate. He wanted to make sure it didn't suck in terms of writing. I love this set, by the way, because, like, just, ugh.
It looks like, it's like the designs from the last movie, but perfected in terms of weirdness.
Yeah.
Nobody touch anything. Too late, that guy touched something.
You know, I kind of wonder how the aliens managed to put this up. Like, where did they get the material? Is this their...
It's like biological secretions.
How much do they make? Because...
I don't know.
You know what? Maybe I could buy it when there's, like, 90 aliens doing it at once. Like, just barfing this shit on the walls.
There's that many aliens.
Well, because, it said the population was, like, 158, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for every person on the ship, or every person on the colony, if you get a corresponding facehugger, you can have an alien result from them.
I like how she's thinking about this, because, like, it's like... Because she's a little bit smarter than that one, and that's kind of cool. So, they take their time to think about this stuff.
Yeah. All right, everyone,
like,
make sure to use as many guns as possible.
She's the smart one, and then there's all the grunts going in there.
I'll stand back at the thing and watch everyone as they go down into death, and then I'll just watch the Skype call while they get murdered. Sergeant Johnson, don't blow up anything. That's another thing that's kind of lame about Alien Covenant so far is that, because, like, they showed the guns the characters were using. And I talk about this in that Alien Isolation video. But they're just modern-day guns with slight adjustments, so they look a little future-y, but they're still real guns.
Think about it. This is, 60 years after the first Alien movie, which is, 60 years after Alien Covenant, right?
No, I think
because Alien Covenant's 21 something, so it's there's enough time for a whole new generation of weapons to come out between Alien and Alien 2.
Here, let me look up the timeline. I remember
I like the mixture of weird industrial stuff and weird organic creepy stuff. That's really cool. I love it. The set design's really great.
Alien Covenant, what year does it take place? It takes place something that seems way too close.
What the heck? What is this?
It's... Ugh.
Oh. It's some guy stuck in there.
So they got to actually use this idea that was cut from the first movie. Because, there's a scene, right around the ending of the first movie after Ripley ends up, setting up the self-destruct. And she runs away, and she's, trying to figure her way out and finds two of the crew, and they're stuck to a wall somewhere, and, there's,
goo.
The beginning stages of an egg forming somewhere, and it doesn't make any sense.
Hello, skeleton facehugger.
Hello, skeleto facehugger. How are you?
What was your favorite?
Favorite what?
Prop?
I gotta say, those pulse rifles are kick-ass.
I like the space bathrobe from the beginning.
Yeah, that's the best prop.
Or the space underwear. Because Ripley wears really tiny underwear in these movies.
That was the style at the time.
You could see the top of her butt in the first movie.
Hey, buddy, you don't look so good. Ah! Jump scare.
So much face sweat. I'll bet it's really hot inside that,
Okay, what year does Prometheus take place?
I don't know. 10 years before, Alien Covenant, I think.
Okay.
I'm not positive, but I can look it up. Face chest burster. I like
burn it all.
I like how the puppet's a little bit more advanced than it was in the first movie, because the first movie, the chest burster puppet looked really bad.
It didn't. I don't think I remember it having limbs. It was just a tail and a head.
Yeah, they didn't have enough. They couldn't really move it that intricately.
Okay.
Set in the late 21st century.
Okay, Prometheus is in 2093, which sounds way too close.
Yeah, Prometheus is 2093.
Alien is in 2122, and this is in 2179.
So between in 70 years, weapons change a lot.
Right?
It's like comparing the weapons in World War II versus now.
Okay, but my problem is, if we're using guns that exist today, like the Australian military's guns, as props for Alien Covenant, that takes place, 70 years from now, give or take. We're not going to be using guns from 70 years ago right now, are we?
Yeah, well, we're not going to be using...
No one's using the fucking rifles from World War One.
We're not going to be using monochromatic displays on our screens either.
I love this set. Look at that. That's so good.
Yep.
This immediately went horribly for everyone.
The aliens are here.
Okay, something kind of weird is that the alien design changed from the first movie to this one. Like, this time they look a little bit more, like, big and muscular. And also they have this weird sort of fringe on the top of their head.
Well, they're gonna... Well,
it's not as smooth, you know?
Well, if you think about it, the aliens in this atmosphere are grown in, like a more hostile environment.
Yeah, it's like a hybrid of,
because it's all windy outside and everything.
As opposed to on the ship where it's like it's just really cool temperatures.
Really like hot and like very dark and moist. But there's a lot of face sweat in this too.
Yeah. So, do you think that between Alien 1 and this one, there was a plague that broke out among the xenomorph species, and they had to distribute a cure that accidentally removed their forehead bumps around the time of Alien 1? And, that whole fucking thing is so stupid.
What?
The Klingon forehead bumps shit.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it looks like these xenomorphs have. Or not xenomorph. I don't know. You know what? Fuck it.
Yeah,
Let's stop being pedantic and just use it. It's the name. It accidentally became the name.
I can be pedantic when it comes to Star Trek, but with Alien, I don't care.
You see, for me, though, it's just I feel like the Alien is cooler if it doesn't have so many, like, knowns about it. Like, I like the unknown things about it. When we know a definitive origin for it, like 100%, where it came from, why it was made, or, if we know, an actual name for it, it kind of makes it less scary. It just makes it like a really dangerous animal, instead of something that it could do anything, you have no idea. In fact, one thing that made this movie really interesting is that there's all kinds of stuff that they didn't know about the aliens, like what happens when they hunt in packs, or, how do they reproduce when they have eggs nearby, or where do the eggs come from? That's all cool stuff, because when you find that out at the end of the movie, you're like, that's neat. But when you found out everything about this species, it just kind of takes the magic away, you know? What kind of window does that have on the front? I feel like that's not, enough of a view to drive that around really reliably. Thank God these hallways aren't too narrow for this thing to drive through.
So yeah, another thing that's cool to mention is that this is another parallel you could put with Mad Max, is that there's the active protagonist, and that's why they say it's such a cool female lead in both movies, because it's like the person who does things and gets the plot moving forward.
It doesn't have to be your female character beats up a bunch of men and she's a strong female character. It needs to be she's just cool and does stuff.
She affects the plot. That's the only thing. It's
and she doesn't do things that are dumb. Because it doesn't matter what gender or race your character is. If they act like an idiot, people aren't going to like them.
Like Noomi Rapace in Prometheus. She's an idiot. Charlize Theron is an idiot.
Who's the new one?
Catherine Waterston from Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, hopefully she ends up, being cool, because we're having a hard time besting Ripley, because they keep trying. Oh, that was really cool. That's a horrible idea. That's what sucks about fighting these things, is that they bleed acid, so you can't have guns that splatter blood everywhere. It's like, well, what do you do? Because every gun splatters blood everywhere. It's a flamethrower them. I like how it's still a little on fire from when he accidentally torched it a second ago. Gorman, you dunce.
Run over it now.
Run it, yeah! That was a cool shot. Hey, what do you think of the sound they make in this one as opposed to the first one? Because there's a different monster sound.
I don't care. Both of them are fine.
I think the elephant noise doesn't sound as cool. Like, I liked when it was just hissing and growling, but now it does this noise that just kind of, eh. It's okay, your PTSD attack is over. You killed lots of aliens, you're super cool. No, I gotta kill them all! You don't understand, Kyle Reese.
You don't understand Jai Courtney and Terminator Genocide?
Oh man, can you imagine if they remade Alien and cast, or if they remade the Aliens and recast,
Kyle...
They recast Michael Bihn's character with fucking Jai Courtney.
Ugh.
You know, it was weird. Michael Biehn was like in like 2 really awesome movies in this time period, and then just kind of fell out of acting.
Then he was in Clock Stoppers.
Was he?
He was.
What is that?
There's they stop clocks.
Okay. What do they do in addition to stopping clocks?
They stop clocks.
I think we're having a miscommunication. All right, so do they freeze time when they stop clocks?
Yes.
Okay. What do they freeze time for?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'll freeze your time.
let's just bug out, man. But what if they're survivors? You know what? That's what a modern movie would have done. Someone would have gone, no, there's survivors hiding down there, just like Newt. Don't nuke it. But here, man, Burke is just like, nah, we gotta save the facility. We have too much invested in this place. Like, come on, dude. I don't think you're gonna be able to repair it. I mean, look at it.
So here's something kind of funny. So in Alien Covenant, the entire crew is made up of couples because
they're on a population mission,
because
right?
because they're a colony ship, and even the crew who stay awake during the journey and run the ship are couples.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that there's a gay couple in the crew. So of course everybody's like, well, why do we need gay people on a colony? Because they're not gonna have kids. And it's like, come on, it's such a stupid debate online about that.
Well, no,
because they're 2 side characters who are just there to die.
They're just gonna get eaten by aliens. Who gives a shit?
Who gives a crap if they're...
If it was a Star Trek episode where, like, these characters weren't all there to get murdered one by one, then sure, you have a debate. When it's an alien movie, like, who fucking cares? They're not gonna live long enough to not procreate.
And also that dinner scene where they make jokes and they kiss each other, that's cut from the movie. That's not in the movie.
Why? Did it piss everyone off that bad?
No, it's just not in the movie.
Weird. Okay.
Apparently a lot from the ad campaign isn't in the movies.
Is James Franco in the movie, or did they cut out his part?
I can't tell you.
I remember seeing like a preview thing for Alien Covenant.
I know
James Franco was in like one scene. He walked up and said, "All right," because he looked like he was super tired.
Hold on a sec. There's a bit of goo. Oh, I wonder why.
Guys, there's a bit of goo in my spaceship, but don't worry, it's gonna be fine. Axel, is that your drool? Axel, is that your tail? That's my favorite part from that Alien Isolation thing.
Yeah. If do you want to hear what happens to James Franco, or do you care?
I don't want spoilers, but I just want to
It's
ask.
very early on.
Is he okay? I mean, sure. I know he's gonna die. I don't want to know how.
No. He doesn't make it to the planet.
What? He just stays behind?
No. His stasis pod malfunctions, so he dies before everything happens.
That's dumb. Why even have him in the movie then?
That explains why they cast him super late.
Well, yeah, because I remember, like, they said the entire cast was announced already, and they had already gotten through most of the filming. Then out of nowhere, yeah, James Franco's in it too. And then we're like, wait, what? What the fuck?
And apparently Catherine Waterston was his wife.
Okay. So, now, I remember I saw a preview thing where James Franco's character showed up for like 2 seconds and was like, alright everyone, have fun going down on the planet. I'm gonna go back to bed because I don't feel very good. Like...
Yeah, he dies.
It was so weird. It's like if you're having a party with your friends that day, but your dad has a cold and he comes down and is like, hey, have fun, kids. Alright, I'm gonna go back to my nap. Don't make too much noise.
Like, this was the one part from Aliens that I'd seen before the movie came out. Before I saw the movie, like, last summer I saw it.
Really?
Yeah, with you. Remember? You showed me this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've seen some more 80s movies with Xavier than I had ever seen before. I haven't seen that many 80s movies.
Well, 80s movies are some of my favorite kinds of movies.
Like,
I'm not one of those Puritans who's like, if a movie came out after 2001, it's garbage. But, like, I do enjoy a lot of movies from earlier.
But I'm more of, like, a recent movie fan. Like, my knowledge and my affinity for movies sort of begins in the 90s.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, for me, it's just mostly, like, I watched because my dad's been a movie buff since he was a kid, and, you know, he had a VHS tape in our house for basically everything that came out that was worth watching after, like, 1975. Mm-hmm. And I just, every time I would walk through the living room, my dad was watching some random 80s movie, and I just got so, like, in love with the aesthetic and the actors and, you know, the props and the sound effects. Like, everything just kind of, like, stuck with me, you know?
Have you noticed that, like, every different Deckgrade just looks differently? Like the way the cameras and everything, like...
Yeah.
In the 80s, there's got this sort of...
Oh, Newt's got a big space helmet.
This is sort of, like, gritty, and then it gets a little bit clearer in the 90s. And then by the 2000s, it looks crystal clear.
I like how in the 90s, there's this, like, not really exploited aesthetic, where it's just, like, the city is completely dark, but there's still blue lights hanging off of everything. Like,
I like in the 90s, like, my favorite movies in the 90s are Alex Proyas movies. Like, Dark City and, like, The Crow and those movies.
Yeah.
Like, I like that sort of, like, dirty, Dark City aesthetic. Dark City is a great movie. You should see it.
Yeah, this little girl didn't get murdered by aliens. She's a pimp. What about you, Hudson? Fuck you! That would be a great idea. Why would you put Hudson in charge of computer work? I feel like that's a little bit beyond him. Although, I feel like Burke would just try and figure out how to, like, do an angle out of it and, like, like lead everyone into a death trap so they could get infected with eggs, and then he'd bring them back. Spoiler. You know what? If you're supposed to watch this after you've seen the movie Vanilla without us, then, you know, like, I'm sure spoiler talk is okay.
It's like, whatever, robot, you can do whatever. Now I'm gonna go and analyze and go and save some people.
I like how the blueprint is really blue, even in the future. I like this little focus that they put on Newt during this scene. Like, that, it's fun of her just, like, trying to... Oh, she walked away because she couldn't see it. There you go. Man, Hicks is such a nice guy.
I like how they're all like characters and they're talking and they're like, okay,
they're
let's
like
do stuff.
doing stuff. Well, I like all these little like nonverbal interactions that are going on, just because that's good character work. Like they're not all just standing here doing nothing. Newt was trying to see the screen, and then because Hicks is a nice guy, like he's very calm and collected, and he's very thoughtful. It brings her up on the desk so she could see the plan too. And you don't have to call attention to it or have it be a big scene. It's just little things like that make movies more believable, right?
Have people do stuff.
When your movie is mostly just people standing around talking, it's like
the prequels.
The Star Wars prequels.
They're the worst ones. They're just people walking around.
They're people just standing in front of blue screens talking in a monotone voice, and then occasionally a super kick-ass lightsaber battle.
It's so boring.
I like the prequels now because they've become such a heavy meme. I follow that prequel memes thing. I love that.
The prequels, I used to like them until I grew good taste.
Even as, the thing about me with the Star Wars prequels is even as a little kid, I didn't like them. Well, I remember just generally, I enjoyed Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker and the Death Star all as things in the movie more than I liked any of the stuff in like the Phantom Menace.
I used to skip through the boring parts to the action scenes.
Yeah, right? So whenever I was like, because when I was like 4 or 5, that was around the time I was like, hey Dad, I want to watch X VHS tape, bring this up. And he's like, alright, here's the one with all the Star Wars movies on it, because he had like all of them on one tape. And that I think it was before Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, came out. So I was just watching, like, all of them, like, kind of in a marathon, and the ones that I always ended up enjoying more were the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I'm not too fond of Star Wars anymore, just, like, because I don't know, I don't want to, like, patronize Star Wars fans and say, I grew out of it. Like, it's not for kids or anything. Well, it's just, I don't know, I think my tastes have just changed, and I'm not quite as into it as I was.
I personally grew out of it, but that's just more like my taste changed because I used to like them more for the action scenes, and it's like my taste changed in movies. Like as I grew up, I became like less interested in the action scenes and more in the dialogue and the story, and then as my tastes changed, I grew out of those movies because it didn't have the things, it didn't have what I wanted anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I just started liking different types of action scenes, too.
And also, I got a little bit, like, I mean, I don't have that thing where I have that thing where I grew up with it, but I didn't really grow up with Star Wars. I mean, I grew up watching it, but I didn't grow up with it.
Yeah. Like it was there. It was a thing you watched, but now that you're older, you're just like, yeah, it exists.
No, if I was when I was a kid, if I had been given the choice between watching Star Wars and watching something else, I would watch something else. Even back then, it's like.
Okay, you know what? I have this strange relationship with Power Rangers because up until I was 5, I was like obsessed with it. Like it was my favorite thing in the universe. Well, I mean, except for like comic book stuff, of course. But I had like maybe 20 or 30 Power Rangers VHS tapes that I would watch all the time. And I would even have my cousins over, and like I would be like, I'm the Red Ranger, and my cousin was like, I'm the Pink Ranger, because she was the girl. And we would always like play that stuff. And then one day I just kind of like snapped out of it. Like when I got really analytical and like annoyed with Power Rangers when I was like 6 one day, where I was like, how come they always stop and talk about what just happened? Like, if a building blows up, they always have this weird reaction moment where they go, whoa, that building just blew up, guys!
Yeah, this is a great scene, though. I love, this is the kind of, this is why I like this movie compared to Alien, is that
it's got an emotional center.
Yeah, it's got an emotional core to it, because that's what I think makes a movie last.
It's like the relationship between Ripley and Newt is cute. They have some fun scenes. They have nice dialogue. They're just fun to watch. Oh,
and they have
they give you the feels.
they have a relationship and they grow as characters.
You know, because like
And
Newt starts off being kind of like of a shut-in, and she's all paranoid and freaked out, and then she starts acting more like a little girl again as the movie goes on.
That's why I really like Kingsman, because that emotional Eggsy's character arc is why I think that movie is going to be a classic in 20 years.
You know what? It's people always. I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure, who aren't super into analyzing and talk about movies, like, I'm sure they're like, yeah, I like the action scenes in this movie, but subconsciously, I feel like they also gravitate towards character arcs.
Think about it. You like an action scene not only because it's visually impressive, but
you think the people in it are cool.
You're involved in it. You care about it because you have a stake in it.
When
you
Spider-Man
like
punches a bad guy, you're like, yeah, punch him, because you like that he was like a dorky-looking nerd 20 minutes ago and has a hard time talking to girls, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But if the movie just like starts off and it's just, here's Batman, what's his backstory? Fuck you, he doesn't have one. He just runs around beating people up. It's like, what?
Here's the thing about the prequels is that people blame Jar Jar Binks for why it's bad all the time, but that's not why it's bad.
Jar Jar Binks is a very small problem in a very large list of problems.
The biggest problem is that you don't care about Anakin at all.
Like, Anakin's character arc is that he's a little kid, then he's an angry adult.
No. He goes from a cute little kid to an angsty teen to an annoying adult to Darth Vader. So it's like, oh, so you just become more and more hateful over time.
You just become a dick as your life goes on. Like, how depressing is that?
That's not a good involving character arc. So that's
even like Bishop has a character arc in this. Like, his whole little tense relationship with Ripley is that he really kind of wants to win her over. I mean, sure, he's not as good at like conveying emotions as the rest of the characters because he's a robot, of course. But like the whole thing is that he wants to prove that androids aren't like a bunch of weird asshole murder peoples that shove magazines down your throat.
They're not.
I'm never gonna get over that, man. That's so weird.
Remember when Bilbo tried to murder Ripley?
Remember when Bilbo tried to like that? What? There's just something so uncomfortable about that. Like, if you strangle someone, it's like, all right, sure, you know. But why rolling up a magazine and shoving it in their fucking face? That's weird.
Look.
Here's a long speech where Burke tries to justify himself.
Justify being a...
Boy, that was like the worst thing you could have said right now, man. You fucked up. Hey, you caused the deaths of multiple people. Yeah, well, I'm disappointed in you for not understanding my reason. You're an idiot. No, dude, you fucked up. I like this shot just because it's, you know, like, that they follow her along through that pretty big set. That was like 3 different rooms they just showed in succession. Like, I would have loved to see what happened to this set after the movie. Like, do you think it still exists somewhere? Or do you think it got dismantled piece by piece and all of these, like, plastic and metal panels are in, like, a trash heap or, like, a landfill somewhere? They should have, like, preserved this set and then just keep it, like, as, like, some kind of tourist attraction or, like, move it all and have it... Okay, disassemble it and then reassemble it in some kind of movie museum in Hollywood, you know? Alright, so the guns we've been using to not die down here are starting to run out of ammo. That's fucking scary. Hey guys, so Fuck you, Hudson. So now we've introduced the ticking clock element of the plot, because we can't just wait out the aliens till they get bored. We're gonna have to end up getting out of here soon because we're gonna explode.
Why can't we shut it down from here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, the crash caused too much damage and overload is inevitable at this point. Oh, man. I was getting short. 4 more weeks and out. I'm gonna bite on this rock. It ain't fair, man.
I like how Hudson has the, I was gonna retire soon, like,
Gag.
I was 4 days from retirement, man! Like, that's never not funny to me when people put that in there.
Well, I don't care how, but we better think of something. We better think of a way.
Think of what?
Don't do double negatives.
What about the colony transmitter?
Never not funny.
Yes, that is always funny. That's what you're supposed to say if you had proper grammar.
Well, it's always funny. You know what? It means the same thing. People know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you sound like a stupid person.
Maybe you don't not sound like a smart person.
Once you go, man.
Yeah, I'd prefer to sound intelligent than like this person next to me.
I'm gonna throw this pen at your face, and then I won't do anything after that because I've run out of ideas.
Okay. I could make you uncomfortable again if you want.
No, please don't do that. Stop using me as like a footrest. Stop it.
Well, you wish it was just that.
Oh God. I want that flashlight. Does that prop still exist?
No.
Isn't it kind of weird how like it looks like it doesn't have a piece of glass over the tip? It just looks like a light bulb hanging out of it. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they sent the robot for this super dangerous and weird job. Hey, I can't remember if they ever explained. Can replicant people like Bishop get infected by the aliens? I don't think they have the right like bodily fluids.
Well, the thing is, it's probably like really close. Here's the thing. So, robots, they probably don't generate body heat.
Like he's probably filled with really cold, weird milk stuff.
Yeah,
right?
he's got full of electricity and milk and like robot arms, and there's coolant, I'm sure. So it's probably pretty cold. Like, unless he's been moving around a lot, he's probably pretty cold. So that's the thing, is that and that's the thing.
Yeah,
is
there's
that,
just also like nothing really to like feed the embryo.
like,
right?
it's very cold, and like they've established in these movies that aliens respond to heat.
Yeah.
And also there's not like nutrients in there because robots don't.
Yeah, he doesn't need to eat food.
So there's not really a lot that you can really.
Hey, can I tell you a fun thing? Like, I know you're gonna roll your eyes, but there was a fun thing from one of the comics that I read. Because it took place like maybe like 30 years after this movie, when like the world had gotten kind of used to these things existing, and on board this ship there was an android that was designed based on the alien, and it had like it spoke in English, and it was just walking around freaking people out, and I think it even wore a hat to distinguish it.
Like, can
Yeah,
it do the
right?
Thing from,
Yeah.
Can it do the thing from Spaceballs where it can do the dance?
Yeah.
Hello, baby. Hello, my honey.
It should've. But it was funny, and it was just walking around talking to everybody. It's like, yeah, I know I look scary, but I'm actually just designed as a joke, basically. And then I can't remember how the rest of it went, because I only skim read it, like, because I was just looking through all the comics. Because I got like a big like stack of Aliens comics all at once, so I was just kind of like peeling through the pages to see exactly what was in there. And I feel like there's a lot of funny scenes you could do where like the actual aliens are interacting with the one that's an android, and he's just like, God, you guys are freaky. Or maybe they just go, yeah, this one's like weird and isn't one of us. Let's all kill him.
It's like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're an android, I don't think he'd really care about you, because like they respond to heat, and they want to implant themselves in like even like breathing.
Yeah.
Like, there's this great Doctor Who episode where these robots detect the humans because they're breathing. So there's like when they're hiding around in the robot base in Victorian London, with clockwork robots. They have to hold their breath.
Okay.
And, like, that's such a cool, like, tension thing where you have to hold your breath.
Because, well, there's a game called Until Dawn where, like, if you have to hold your breath and not move because there's a monster that's vision is based on movement.
So, so the breath would be another thing, because robots don't need to breathe.
So, another thing that I think is sort of neat is, like...
So here's
how many different attachments can you put on the pulse rifle? Because, like...
Here's a bigger question. How do they determine what a robot looks like? Because in the new movies, they've got it like... they've just got this standard, like, model. Because, like, they've got the Walter droid and they got David, who are both Michael Fassbender
they got Michael
robots.
Fassbender bots.
And then in Star Trek, they've got Robert Picardo bots. No, because there's only one Data, and there's Data and Lauren. They're both played by... They've got Brent Spiner robots, and they've got Robert Picardo holograms.
Huh.
Like, they have a standard model, and it's installed on all ships, emergency hologram. They're all look like Robert Picardo.
Hey, you played the first couple of hours of Alien Isolation, right?
I didn't get to the robots.
Okay, so yeah, in the when you get through to like the second level, basically, the robots, like they're specifically designed because that game is canon. They confirmed that. Like,
I don't care.
So, yeah, everything that happened there.
I'm still not going to play it because it was really boring.
It was trying to build tension.
I just got really tired of sitting there and I felt like I was being held back because of how slowly I had to move and because I couldn't jump.
Yeah, fair enough.
I just got so tired of it, so I just left.
Well, I think it's a cool thing how they have, like, androids that are designed specifically to not look like humans just because it makes people more comfortable to work with a synthetic person that way.
I love this moment because she's, like, hiding underneath, and it's like, oh, hide underneath with me. That was a fun little character moment.
Hi there, small child. Oh.
Hi there, small child.
Why is it so red under your bed?
You're making a tent. You're making a little tent underneath your bed.
Oh, dude, we should make a fucking pillow fort in the middle of our, like, anti-alien base. Just to kill time.
Yeah, like these.
You got Hicks like rolling in like a couch, and he's like, "All right, guys, we'll use this for the south wall."
Like these are the cool moments that make a movie like this good. Just sort of sitting around and waiting.
I like the tension of this one because not a lot of it is like machine gun badass action. Like that's more like kind of at the beginning and a little bit at the end, but a lot of it is just. There's too many of them. All right, what do? Let's just barricade ourselves in and hope to God they can't get in to find us.
And if you ask me, this is why I thought that this is why I thought that Star Wars: The Force Awakens was such a terrible movie.
Oh, that's a hard line.
I hated it. I thought it was terrible.
I think the internet kind of begrudgingly agrees with you.
The only reason that it's terrible is not because it's a ripoff of the New Hope, but because it never slows down. It never stops.
Like the pacing is just like scene. All right, here's like 2 minutes of talking.
There's
scene. Like it.
Like
There's
really...
a little bit of time where like Finn and Han Solo talk, but that's about it.
They never stop to talk. Like whatever happened to the first New Hope, where they just sit around and practice with the droid.
Or here, I'll show you your dad's old lightsaber in my hut out in the desert, and I'll tell you about your family's backstory and lie to you.
Yeah.
Because that was
Or
nice.
what about the moment where Han Solo was like, "Hey, I'm leaving. Goodbye." Oh, I love this scene. I love this scene.
It's so cool.
But that's why I dislike The Force Awakens, because there was never that moment where they just
chill out. Because like in this movie, when you chill out and calm, I like how effective it is here. Because it lulls you into this false sense of security, and something super bad immediately happens.
And plus, you get to know people when there's quietness. There's no... They never stop.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that. I forgot about that.
Uh-oh.
Shit, I left my gun outside.
She didn't. She left her gun on the bed. So somebody removed it.
Oh, okay, yeah. What a bastard he is.
Hello, Quark.
Look at his face. He knows he did something shitty. You know, he's not completely stone faced or he's not smiling. He's like
And then
looks
everybody's
like,
like,
oh shit, I just killed someone.
we're in a stressful situation. So
He looks guilt as fuck. And everyone else just is like, yeah.
Yep, you're just nervous.
We're all nervous too, buddy. Even though we're nervous about the aliens, you're nervous about being a murderer.
Is this like plasticsteel or plastic? Is this?
I don't
or
know.
Is this,
it made a little bit of a
this
cracking
transparent
noise.
aluminum?
Transparent aluminum?
That's a thing in Star Trek.
Yeah,
by
I
the
know.
way.
I know.
That's only because you watch Red Letter Media.
Yes, I watch Red Letter Media. Although I don't watch their stupid game show, fucking prereq. I don't watch that. If I've ever said anything in a video that's similar to something said and previously recorded, it's by accident, okay?
You've said, like, I've listened to your opinions. Like, you talked about,
In fact, I watched, like, only 2 episodes of prereq and then got pissed off because of how harsh they were to Alien Isolation.
you know, it was
Because
funny.
it sounded like most of their comments about that game were like, I'm not good at it, it must be bad.
It was super funny when I watching, it's super funny watching Red Letter Media videos about movies that you've seen, because it's like, almost, oh, I love the way that thing moves.
Right? That's so unnerving.
It's like,
Fuck, dude. It moves really well. They did a great job with that.
cool puppet.
Does it have fingernails? Jesus. You know what the most, like, unnerving thing about them is that there's no, like, face. There's nothing to humanize it. Like, sure, spiders are creepy, but at least they have eyes and a mouth. Sure, a wrong-looking one. Those things have nothing. It's like, how the fuck do they even know where you are? That's what's scary about them. So what were you saying? It's funny to see Red Letter Media videos?
No. It's funny to see Red Letter movie videos of movies that you've seen right after you talk about them, because oftentimes it's this almost exact same opinion verbatim.
Yeah, that's happened before.
Like, your opinion of Guardians of the Galaxy was exactly their opinion.
Of the first one or the second one?
Second one.
I haven't watched their episode of Half in the
It
Bag
was
on
the
it.
same.
I am, you know what? Like-minded individuals.
It's kind of hilarious to watch.
I try really hard not to rip them off or
Like,
repeat them, but it
you have-
happens on accident at this
You
point.
have repeated their reviews to me verbatim before.
And I'm not trying to. That's what I think is funny. But you know what? I do love those guys. Like, I haven't watched Half in the Bag for a long time, but whenever they do have a Plinkett
Whenever
review,
they have a parody of Star Wars.
yeah,
fans.
whenever they do like the
Nerd Crew.
the Nerd Crew, which is just palpable satire, and then Red Letter Media does the Plinkett reviews.
It's liquid canned sarcasm.
Yeah, you just crack open this can of sarcasm and suck it down.
You could jettison the bodies and make any story he likes. Like,
You could cook up a story and throw us into a meat grinder.
you're a terrible
This
person.
guy and that guy from Predator should be, like, related. Like, that's their backstory is that this guy is that guy's, like, 5-generation later grandson. Oh, come on, I need that phone. Come on. You're gonna just do horrible things with it.
I'm just gonna tweet watching Aliens with David.
Okay. Oh, how can they cut the power, man? They're animals. I like the motion tracker in here, like, just because it's so basic, but it's, like, perfect for building tension. Just because, like, the pulsating noise of it kind of creates a sort of heartbeat for the scene. And it also, like, it doesn't tell you where the alien is, it just tells you it's close.
Dang it! Double pressing the power. No, wait. I was trying to take a picture of you for it.
Oh, okay.
So just talk and be normal.
I don't know what me being normal looks like, man.
Yeah, you're not normal ever.
That's a great picture. You did a good job. No, that's awful too.
It looks like a mugshot.
Jesus, dude.
Which one?
Every time someone takes my phone, something bad happens with it. There was that time my ex-girlfriend just started posting a lot of really weird stuff on Facebook from my account. And then my whole family was like, holy shit, dude, are you okay? That's not the reason she's my ex-girlfriend. That's just one of... That's the Jar Jar Binks of reasons she's my ex. See, I did a callback there. It was funny.
How do you add emojis? Oh god, I found it.
Okay. How did we miss the fact that we barricaded every door?
See, look.
Oh god. Sure.
I tweeted 6 emojis.
Why did you use 6 emojis?
Because the Emoji Movie.
Oh god. No. Whoops. Why does this have a white circle around it now?
It's still tweetering.
Oh. This is such a tense scene. I love it.
I love how the restraint of this movie.
Because you could have just had them burst in out
Less
of nowhere.
alien is more, I think.
Yeah, right? Well, because they said the original pitch for the first movie was it's Jaws but in space.
Yeah. Less is more if you have good characters like these.
Yeah, right? Because then you get, like, freaked out when they're in here just like, holy shit,
no!
They're getting close. But then they're like, they should be in the room with us because the motion tracker says they're super close.
This is gonna be fun.
I love this shot coming up here just because it looks so good. Like, the costumes are so on point.
That's
Dude,
perfect.
that looked great. Like, the costume in the first one, you know, looked like a costume. Here, they, like, really nailed it. They just look like a swarm of creepy-ass giant bugs.
I like how the way they move in this one, they move a lot more like animals. Versus in the first one, they moved like a guy in a suit.
Well, it was a guy in a very cumbersome, crazy suit that was, like... You know, I gotta say, as much as I love the first one, I think the creature effects and, you know, everything all
Well,
around
it's a
is
low-budget horror movie. They couldn't...
This one is when they were like, all right, we're gonna have like
We're gonna
90 dudes in costumes, and it's gonna look
We're
great.
gonna have better costumes. Like this was actually a pretty let me look it up. Aliens. I'm gonna look up the budget, but it was pretty decent.
That was back when the budget was just like, all right, how many plastic bottles are we gonna need to make the sets? And now it's like, all right, how many animators are we gonna have to pay?
How many render farms are we gonna have to use?
How many render farms are we gonna have to rent out to
Budget
get this
17
done?
to 18 million. So
That's fucking amazing. You can make this for 18 million. That's what indie movies are now.
no, not indie movies.
Well, okay, like expensive indie movies.
Like a Oscar bait movie.
Yeah, right?
See, so $18 in 1987 to 2017 is 39 million. So 39. So it's about a $40 million movie.
Yeah, I
could
could
see
buy
that.
that.
I
Yeah,
could see
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like limited sets, practical creature effects, not a lot of CGI. I could buy that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Sigourney Weaver didn't have a huge salary for this.
Sigourney
movie.
Weaver, like,
This movie
she
made her
owns,
a star.
like, she's a producer. She owns parts of the rights to the
This
to the
movie
series.
made her a star, but before this, she really wasn't.
Yeah. I can't remember what she did between this and the first movie, because there was, like, that 7-year period where it was just like, hey, are you going to make
She was
another
in
one?
Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah, she was. No, Ghostbusters came out 2 years after this.
No, Ghostbusters is in 94. Aliens is in 96, so you got that
80.
backwards. No, 86 is Aliens. 84 is Ghostbusters. So you got that backwards.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay. Huh. I didn't realize the
So
first
she-
Ghostbusters
So she
came
did
out that soon.
Ghostbusters between Aliens.
I was
movies.
thinking, I was thinking of Ghostbusters 2 came out in 88.
89 was Ghostbusters 2.
Whatever, it was close. And then of course there was that Tim Burton For some reason, every time I think of Tim Burton's name, I replace it in my brain with Bruce Timm, and that's very confusing to talk about.
Bruce Tim Burton.
Bruce Tim Burton. Tim Brucen.
My favorite role for Sigourney Weaver, though, is Galaxy Quest.
Oh yeah, she was great in Galaxy Quest. That movie's
Look,
awesome.
I've got only one role, and it's stupid, but I'm gonna do it. What do? I repeated the computer.
Oh, you know who else was really great in that movie?
Tony Shalhoub.
Sam Rockwell. I loved his character in Galaxy Quest.
Tony Shalhoub.
Everyone was great in Galaxy Quest. Galaxy Quest needs to get, like, made... well, you know, it's a little bit too late now to do a sequel for that.
They were planning to do... They were in pre-production on a sequel when Alan Rickman died, and they decided to cancel it after that.
Oh... Because he was the Leonard Nimoy of that movie.
Yeah. And Leonard Nimoy's dead too, which is sad. They could do a creative angle, like everybody's like sad of that, and they're all aging and dying. Like they could do a Wrath of Khan. Like they did it. They could do like what? Oh, that's a fun day. Just having an alien land in your lap. Is an alien?
Ow! That's a lot of gore.
Is that an alien in your lap, or are you
I like
just
how it
happy to
had.
see
I
me?
like how because she shot it in the head so many times, it started having like a weird freak out and twitch.
Is that an alien in your lap, or are you just happy to see me?
Well, I mean the way their heads are shaped, right?
It's so dumb.
Yeah. Don't worry, Gorman. You're a crucial character. You've been very helpful so far. I like how he's managed to bungle every single thing that they've tried. So, since, I guess, you know, at this point, you can kind of guess where the movie's gonna go if you haven't seen it before. I love that shot when it's on the ceiling. This is kind of a weird moment between these two, just because I feel like they had no scenes together prior.
Well, they served together.
Maybe.
So they were
I
friends.
feel like that would have maybe hit harder if it was like Hudson there. Like he died kind of like in a hurry, just off screen almost. Like Hudson dies in the panic of that big action scene. I feel like he should have had something a little bit more like climactic. But then again, it might just be because I like his actor more than the others.
Bill Paxton didn't have a very big role in this movie. He was just a sassy guy who...
Yeah, I'm going to be there and say game over, man, and that's going to become inexplicably super popular for no reason.
And also, you know who directed the Alien Resurrection?
It was Joss.
No. Joss wrote it.
Okay, he wrote it. Who directed it?
Jean-Pierre Jeunet, who is also one of the co-directors on Delicatessen.
Oh.
And Amelie. He directed Alien, and then he went on to direct Amelie.
You know what? I could buy that because both of those movies have like a really weird, like, piss yellow color scheme.
Yeah. Jean-Pierre Jeunet has a very distinct visual aesthetic, and if you're French, I don't care if I'm saying that wrong.
Oh, this is a cool scene.
I just like to hear that. Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Newt. Swimming aliens?
Oh, I love this scene. So, okay, Aliens Book 1 is a sequel about Newt when she's, like, college age.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in, like, a mental asylum just because she's kind of, like, fucked up now and can't really fit in with society after all this. Like, she just couldn't really develop social skills that well after all this.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hicks is, like, drunk and depressed and upset because of something that's going to happen in just like a couple of minutes. You know, and Ripley wasn't there at all. That's my favorite part, is because even though Ripley's like one of my favorite characters of all time, I kind of like the idea of like, let's give the spotlight of an alien story to like two very different characters. So you have like grizzled old... Oh, that shot is amazing. Holy fuck, that looked cool with the way that his tail like popped up first and he raised out of the water. You
Like,
know,
the shot in Alien Covenant with the tail comes up between the behind the girl when they're having the sex.
They're having the sex. That's what it's called.
Yep.
Make sure to grab the doll head, and she's gonna want her doll back later, you know?
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny how Jean-Pierre Jeunet did a delicatessen about a cannibal, and then he directed an alien movie, and then he went on to direct Amelie.
Because isn't Amelie just like a really cutesy, like...
It's a really, really cutesy, very stylized romantic comedy in Paris.
After Alien Resurrection, a movie where Brad Dourif plays a guy who uses a shotgun and sits in a wheelchair.
And wants to have sex with the aliens.
No, that's a different guy. Or am I getting them confused?
Brad Dourif is the one who...
Is he the creepy scientist who licks the glass?
He's the creepy scientist who licks the glass.
Fuck, there's a lot of buckles to get that off. Hey, Hicks, are you okay? Your face got a little melted. Yeah, so in Alien Book 1, he's all, like, upset that his face got a little melted there.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, like another alien outbreak happens. And I can't remember the exact, reason for it. It's just, like, it ends up, shit goes down on another space station, and then they contact, They do the same sort of thing they did at the beginning of this one, where they contact Hicks because he's had experience with them, and he's like, fuck you, I don't want to go. And they're like, well, what else are you going to do? Are you just going to sit around and be depressed? Like, go fucking fight some aliens, bro. And then he's like, alright, but I got to go pick something up first, get all the men I'm going to be in charge of ready. And then he goes and then breaks Newt out of the mental facility by, like, running in there and then just beating up all the guards and waving a gun around, and then they escape out of the side of the building after... Oh yeah, and that book predicted 9/11, which was kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, so they escape, and then
So wait, 9/11? That's a side detail?
Yeah.
You're not talking about this stuff. You're not talking about 9/11. You're talking about Alien.
No, okay,
You're weird.
In
Stop
Alien
talking
Book
about
1...
that. Stop talking about that. You're...
In Alien Book 1, there's a scene where they're using this, like, weird, like, sort of... It's like a device they use to escape out of the side of a skyscraper. Like, it's a platform that you can fly on. And they talk about how it became standardized after the World Trade Center fell. And they got the year wrong, but they said that, like, it collapsed in, like, 2019 or something.
Oh, hey, look, the reused lightning effects from the Return of the Jedi.
Or from Terminator at the beginning.
No. Return of the Jedi.
Okay. Alright, here's the badass getting ready moment.
See, this is the moment where I think that makes this character a good, like... This is why this character is remembered as a good female character, is because in the climactic moment, they're not, like... It's like she says, nope, we're not going to leave. We're going to go out and do something. And that's
she's
why...
not sitting around complaining or crying. She's like, I'm going to go save that little girl. I'm going to go finish the mission, you know?
And this is also why the protagonist of Mad Max is not... Mad Max Fury Road isn't Furiosa. It's Mad Max.
You know?
Because at the climactic moment at the third act, it's not like... Furiosa isn't like, oh, let's go back and do this. Max is like, oh, let's go back and do this. He's the one who...
So when a lot of people complain and say, why is it called Mad Max if Furiosa's the only one who's important? It's like, well, no. Max has a very important input in the story.
She got the story started, but he's the one...
She started it, and then he ended it.
That's why he's the protagonist, but she's also an important character.
Exactly.
Duct taping two guns together.
That's so dumb and cool. She duct taped her rifle to her flamethrower.
Mm-hmm.
This is like leading up to the boss fight in a video game. Like, I love this. Like, just, alright, let's get ready. You know, just strap up and get all your guns ready in the elevator on your way down as you descend into hell. And then, of course, that background is really impressive. How do you think they did that?
It's either a video... It's either... they either blue screened it, Or they could have had like a set where they have an elevator going down and they just repeat that one section over and over again.
Maybe.
Or maybe they blue screened it. I think
it's a blue screen of like some kind of model that they just scrolled the camera across and then
that would make sense.
That works. It looked good.
They blue screen like the set going down or something.
You know, I think some people find the constant flickering lights and the smoke annoying, but I just think it adds to the set design. Like
it's part of that 80s gritty sci-fi aesthetic, so I'm okay with it.
I think it just makes the sets feel a little bit more like, you know, like real. Is that they're uncomfortable to be in.
It's part of the like. It's not today like. You look at the new Alien movies and it's a lot shinier and a lot more like the CG. Like today's CG aesthetic is a little bit more smooth, like crystal clear, sort of smooth and like shiny.
Yeah,
and that's the modern day sci-fi aesthetic. But
I like
this is the
gritty
dirty,
sci-fi.
This is the dirty like.
This is Dead Space stuff. Like this place.
There's different aesthetics for different styles of sci-fi. There's retrofuturism, which is like retro 50s. There's this sort of like grunge sci-fi, I'd call it.
Grunge sci-fi I think it works.
And
or like industrial sci-fi.
And then there's Apple iPhone sci-fi.
Everything is a floating computer, like hologram, like in fucking Minority Report.
And I would say that Star Trek was the
2009 one.
No, I would even say earlier Star Treks, going back to Next Generation, pioneered that aesthetic with like shiny panels that have buttons on them and like big, expansive, bright hallways, and they pioneered that aesthetic, and now it's the dominant standard in science fiction.
Yeah, I could see that. Although I feel like there is more like color to the UI design on their computers. Like all the buttons have
color.
All the buttons have a different color, like reds and blues.
But it changed over
now it's
time.
just here's a translucent piece of glass.
The new one is like all blue and like all metal, and I'm not a big fan of that. Like the Discovery is all blue and all metal, and I'm not a big fan of that.
You know what would be a cool aesthetic is the idea of like, what if modern Star Trek sort of aesthetic, like, you know, everything looks like an Apple store, kind of crossed over with this depending on which place you were in. So it could be like heavy industrialism sci-fi with like grungy, gross looking props.
That's what they tried to do with the Enterprise, where the bridge is the bridge, and then there's the bridge, and then there's
the engine room, which is like
just a brewery.
It was a brewery because it had all kinds of
and I think they didn't
pipes hanging around.
They didn't do that much to balance the two aesthetics.
God, that looks gross. I can't figure like that. You know what? My favorite thing about this weird bio-slime stuff all over the place is I can't think of something specific that it reminds me of, but it definitely looks really gross and real. That also looks like ugh. Everything in here is just like ugh. What is any of this stuff made of? It's also slimy. Quick, catch it in midair. Oh.
You know, this was a random thought, but I watched the trailer for Young Sheldon and I hated it.
Yeah.
But Young Sheldon's sister reminds me of your sister.
I have not watched Young Sheldon yet, but I will go see it to confirm if Young Sheldon's sister reminds me of my sister.
Like, she sounds exactly the same.
Okay. I like how it's like it's not like slime. It's like the chunks of it are gooey. Like chunks of it are like hard, and others are like
crusty.
Slimy. Yeah, it's almost like there's like cartilage in there,
or like it's drying, like
dried
blood or dried goo.
Ugh, it's so well done. Oh, it's getting quiet because something important's gonna happen. You know, I also like that they didn't have a ton of time to, like, you know...
That was such a great movie.
Right? She just walks in, and then you just... Uh-oh. Shit. And then, of course, I like that there wasn't a ton of setup for this. It's just a thing that's here. Is that there's a queen alien. Because, like, I'm sure throughout the whole movie, people are asking, where do the eggs come from? And then you turn around and you see that shit and you're like, oh. Oh, God.
There's not like some...
I like how it's a little bit translucent. You can see tons of eggs inside there. Ugh. This is so fucking scary.
Hey, look.
Like, good God.
Yeah.
I also like how its, like, head is designed to have more of a bone structure. Like, it looks... This one looks more, like, regal and important. Damn, that's cool.
Sweet droops. Hissing.
And then there's these guys just roaming in. Look at them. Look at these cool guys just like, hey, what's up? This lady bothering you, Mom? Alright, no sudden movements or else we'll get cut in half by like 90 things at once. Or just, fuck it, burn everything. Okay, so I remember like them talking about how much of a nightmare this creature was to do the effects for, because it's like, it's like a puppet operated by 3 guys that's also suspended via like wires, and also has a person inside, and also has like robotic legs. Like, there are so many different moving parts to get this thing to function. It's a marvel of practical effects.
Instead of being a marvel of computer effects.
It's not, and it moves so amazingly. Like, it just...
Sometimes puppets don't work as well, but here it's good, cool.
I think the Henson Company did this.
Jim Henson?
Yeah, because...
The Jim Henson Company, that's what it's called.
I say Hanson sometimes.
Henson.
I know it's Henson.
Henson.
Whatever.
Yeah, screw it.
Henderson is your last name?
No, that's not my last name. That's the false one.
I know, that's the joke.
So, my name is David Henderson, totally.
Yeah, I like how, like, look at that. It just moves in such a, like, a fast way that it doesn't look stiff at all. It looks like it's just real. It has this organic feeling to it.
Murder Ripley. She's a serial
Ripley's, like, finally got, like, she's...
I wonder what...
This is
her
catharsis
the aliens
moment.
have, like, support meetings to talk
Ripley's
about
survivor meetings.
Yeah. Like, a group therapy.
They killed all of our kids! She ran in there... Like the aliens consider this, like...
The massacre...
The great massacre of 2211 or something? Or whatever year.
The Ripley massacre.
The Ripley massacre of
the
79.
Ripley killings.
The Ripley killings.
That's the perfect name. I just wanted to have some babies.
Ripley the Ripper. She roams in and then just starts murdering all the eggs at once. Look at those poor facehugger babies. They'll never grow up to infect someone. Oh, that's also really gross, is that it has to, like, unsnap from its egg sac thing. That's... I guess there's an implied horrible monster alien vagina there that we don't see. Like, ugh.
Hot.
Oh, no. Okay, make sure you run through places that are narrow and small, because it can't follow you there. Where did that lightning come from? Where is any of this lightning coming from?
It's a nuclear reactor, so it's implied.
Implied what?
The nuclear reactors.
Ow! It's nuclear lightning?
The nuclear reactor is generating electricity, and the electricity is bouncing back and forth because it's in overload mode.
Alright, but why is it arcing from, like, pipes to each other? Do those
because
pipes
it's malfunctioning.
Do those pipes have wires in them?
Yes.
Alright. Okay,
stop overthinking things.
You can stop kicking me. Normally, you're the one who does that, but you can stop kicking me now.
It's my job.
Alright.
Stop doing my job, otherwise you won't need me anymore and I'll be unemployed.
Ow. I don't pay you.
I'm an unpaid intern.
Ow. Okay. Please stop kicking me. My arm fucking hurts so much because it's still...
Still what?
It's... Ow. Because you were doing this earlier. Ow. Stop. Why? Do you have to wait until the coolest scene to be annoying?
No, the coolest scene was with the face huggers in the hospital.
Dude, look. Okay, hold on. There's another cool scene, like, in a second that we're going to have to get to.
Because this feels like just sort of like fan servicey. But, like, earlier, there's a lot more, like, tension because, like, it's a lot smaller, but there's still that danger, which I think is really cool.
I like how this reaction shot from the alien. Like, their puppet was good enough that it actually was able to act out a scene and, like, oh, there's an elevator I can use. Bishop! Yo! Get the keys in the ignition. We ready? Oh. Bishop! You left us! Now how are we gonna get to Space 7-Eleven?
I want to eat some space fried chicken.
I like how one of her first reaction was, oh no, the alien, like, what if it got in another elevator? And she turns and goes and look down there. Because you know what? I think a lot of people would be like, why would you do that? That would be the first thing I do is try and make sure there's not an elevator coming up with the thing in it following me. Because like, I always do like the worst case scenario in my head. So I immediately go, what's like the craziest thing that could happen?
You're a pessimist, except when it comes to Marvel movies.
Whenever I'm driving, I always feel like I need to pay special attention to trucks. Because I always feel like they're the thing that... If I was going to get into an accident, it's going to be with the heaviest car possible. Because I can't run into, like, a Volkswagen Beetle and have it be, like, just, like, a mild little dent. It's going to be... If something bad happens, I'm going to just collide with a tanker truck and explode 6 blocks of traffic.
You're a paranoid person.
Yes, I'm a paranoid person, but you know what? That alien did follow her up the elevator. Much like every person driving a tanker truck is secretly planning to reenact that scene from Resident Evil 2.
This is a movie.
You're a movie.
I wish I was. I wish I was,
What? You wish you were a baller? You wish you were a little bit taller?
I wish I was Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Oh. Boring and long?
Well, I already am already.
Oh. Is that a compliment?
Well, you already think that I'm boring because I'm pedantic, but long's always a good thing, no matter what you're
Whoa!
referring to.
I actually don't dislike Star Trek the Motion Picture. I thought it was kind of cool. It wasn't like 2001: A Space Odyssey, where it's just here's a 15-minute scene that's just one establishing shot, and then everyone tells me, no man, it's artsy, you just don't get it.
I like 2001.
I think 2001: A Space Odyssey has not aged well.
I think you haven't aged well.
Yeah, I know. I have, like, facial hair that sucks, and it won't grow any further past a certain point. I need to shave.
Yeah, you're just not destined to have cool beards. You're just going to be a nerd for the rest of your life.
Maybe one day I'll have a cool Viking beard, or a cool Russian beard.
You're not Russian. You're not Viking. You're just pale.
I'm just slightly Filipino. Thus
You're slightly
the last
pale.
name. You're slightly pale.
No, I
think you're paler than I am.
No, we'll take a selfie and ask Twitter which one.
No, stop it. When did you become a teenage girl? Stop taking so many selfies. Ugh.
I'm gonna ask Twitter.
Well, because you know what the answer is. You just want validation so everyone can go, yeah, Xavier should go outside more. He's really pale. I'm like, fuck you. I do all the time. It doesn't work, okay? You gonna tell a black person they shouldn't go outside so much so their skin will lighten up? No, that's not how it works. I was born this way. Bishop, I'm no longer a racist. Oh, that's great. I like robot people now.
Good night.
I love that. That was such a cool shot of it, like the floor just sinking in a little.
Hey, can I?
Oh! So I guess the aliens don't necessarily want to infect humans, but or infect androids, but they're like, you know,
When they're a threat, they'll kill them.
they look close enough to people that they'll kill them. God, dude, that was awesome. Hey there, Queen Aliens. I think she has like an extra set of arms near her chest. I think it's kind of weird how her teeth are like vaguely translucent.
This is the last method of ensuring that the readers won't be warned, and the most obvious. Never write a scene or a single panel that doesn't contribute directly to the plot. Hey,
why are you reading my How to Write Comics book? Maybe that's foreshadowing of a future project.
maybe it's not. Who knows?
Oh.
So scary.
I like how, because, you know, I feel like a more modern movie would have the Queen Alien have superpowers, and she would dent the door or something.
Or, like, have them to psychically connect or something.
Oh, God. No, you know what? A movie made in 2017 about this same script would have the alien queen bumps into the door, and then it blasts through, and then the queen starts chasing Ripley down a bunch of hallways. And then smashing through doors.
A bunch of glass hallways, like in Hulk. Remember the shot in Avengers when they're
when Black Widow's running away from Hulk, it would look like that.
I like how it's just
I think too many things have superpowers recently. Like, sure, it's a big, scary-ass monster. It's like the size of, like, 8 people. But it shouldn't be able to fucking rip open a metal door with its bare hands. It's still, like, an animal, you know?
Insert line for the trailer now.
I don't think that was in the trailer. Maybe it was. I don't know. We'll be quiet for this part.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Yeah! I like how the alien waited until she said that to hiss, implying that she kind of understood that. So I'm still a little confused on where the hell this thing came from. Do all aliens become alien queens eventually?
I would say it's just like if there's enough reproductive one, if there's enough maybe it depends on like the reproductive cycle and how many there are.
Well, because there had to have been the first one that Newt's dad brought back in his chest, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that was this one, because the first one would have had to breed more, right?
Maybe it's like if there are maybe the first one in a colony becomes the queen because it's like realize there aren't any others, so it has to reproduce eventually.
So like the one from the first movie would have become a queen eventually if it had enough people around to infect?
Yeah.
Okay. I could buy that. Hey, do you want some massive spoilers for Alien Isolation? There should have been an alien queen in that game, and there wasn't, which makes it not make sense.
Also, everybody's saying the Star Trek Discovery trailer is epic, but I don't think that's a good thing.
So here's the scene that a lot of people now complain about, you know, in terms of the, I like that they didn't forget the extra mouth. But there's some real, like, suspension of disbelief problems that go on here in a second. For now, though, this is cool. I mean, this is 2 amazing props interacting together in an amazing set, right? Like, how big was this whole like set design for these 2 massive puppets and suits to interact together? And then, like, how well did both of them have to move in order to film this fight scene, you know? Like, holy shit, they just killed it so hard with all this. Okay. Just gonna...
Yeah, this is the...
Yeah, this is... Do you think it's kind of funny and, like, sort of poetic that the same sort of ending happened for both of the first 2 movies?
Isn't it funny how there's a door that they can use to open...
Because that's where the ship comes in, I think.
Here's the thing. So
or no, I don't
why
know
doesn't this ship not... Why does this ship have a door to open space inside the airlock? Like, surely you would have to have a failsafe where the inner door closes before then or something.
Maybe it's like procedural, like you're supposed to close the inner door,
Like-
but then no one did.
Like here, like if you have an open door like that in your ship, air is leaking out. You don't want
You can't
that, right?
replace air, you know, unless you have like some kind of hydroponics section that's just pumping.
But still, you can't replace the air because those molecules have to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
So, the thing is that like, surely you would just program it in automatically where the
the door
the
right
inner door
Ripley
has to be
is
closed
right now. The door where Ripley is right now should be closed on
Like
its own.
wouldn't it be like a really cool really scary suspenseful scene where the door sort of slowly closes as the alien wrestles the giant thing off of it.
Yeah, like she has to climb up through that door right there while the alien's trying to pull on her, and then the door closes on the alien's tail and snaps it off, and then she ejects it in space.
Yeah.
Like, it's a slight tweak, and I don't know if you'd consider it cooler.
It'd be a
or
little
not.
bit less dramatic because you can't
Aw.
see it going down and escaping, but
Aw, everyone's having feels now.
not bad for a human.
I like how Hicks was just, like, sleeping on the ship in, like, the other room for this whole thing. Like, he's gonna come out and, like, Bishop's ripped in half and everyone's beat to shit and the room's all destroyed. He's like, what the fuck happened, guys? I went to sleep for, like, 20 minutes.
Hello, half of a robot.
Man, Bishop got it real hard. Poor guy. Like, I don't think he deserved that. Because he's been, like, the nicest character so far.
Hello, mini underwear lady.
I guess, you know, she just likes this outfit.
She likes wearing tiny underwear.
I think, actually, there was a thing in the first movie where when they did the scene where everyone got out of the pods, the lady who played the other character, what's her name?
Who went, oh god, at the...
Yeah, at the chestburster. And both her and Sigourney Weaver had to wear tape on their nipples while they had the tank tops on, so as not to offend certain countries.
Such as?
I don't know. I'm sure, like, some European country
I don't know.
that's afraid of boobs.
Here's the thing. France gave a PG-13 or, like, PG-12 to 50 Shades of Grey.
France is... They did what?
Yeah! 12-year-olds could walk in and watch 50 Shades of Grey.
France is either the worst or best country ever. Alright, happy ending. Everyone gets to go home, except for... Here's a list of characters that didn't live. That's sad. Fuck, dude. Alright, that was pretty great. Hey,
Cocooned woman.
do you think
Barbara
it's a little
Coles.
weird that Newt calls Ripley mom after, like, her mom's been dead for maybe, like, a month?
Well, you kind of want... Like, no, that doesn't feel, like, weird. Because, like, in,
Yeah.
Kids want that. That's what they want. They want parents and they want family and everything, so...
I guess. I want the alternate universe to be canon.
But it's not.
Where Ripley and Newt go and just live somewhere, and maybe Hicks becomes, like, the dad, like him and Ripley get together. And then like Bishop's the cool robot uncle who's in, like, a wheelchair.
He's the creepy gay robot uncle.
Yeah, sure. And then everything is fine. But instead, you got Aliens Book 1, which is about basically aliens get to Earth and we can't stop them because they're reproducing so fast. And society is fucked and everyone has to leave Earth and it's doomed. But that also has, like, a lot of, like, really like, the thing is that book isn't hopeful at all because it tries to show what Earth is like before that happens for the first couple of issues. And it's really cynical and dark because it's just like everyone's sitting around watching TV for like 90% of the day, or everyone's like created a cult devoted to worshipping xenomorphs.
You're a xenomorph.
You're a xenomorph.
You're a xenomorph.
You're a xenomorph.
Let's cut open your wrist and see if you've got acid blood.
Okay. Like alien, like future Ripley, the clone Ripley. Fun fact,
Josh
I've
Whedon Ripley.
never seen the ending to Alien Resurrection because as soon as the hybrid alien gets sucked out the window, I just turn off the movie.
Music recorded at Abbey Road.
These are really short credits, dude. Fuck.
Well, they don't have 1 million people at render farms in Italy. Or
You know what? I hate
Canada.
that now. Movie credits are like 9 minutes long because there's so many goddamn animators they have to pay. It's like we have to credit every John or Jane Doe from like fucking Europe who spent 6 hours trying to like render the texture of Captain America's shield for one scene.
or retouch his skin so that he looks a little bit more muscular or something.
Or the person who had to make Gal Gadot's armpits look like the same color as the rest of her skin. Oh man, I just realized something.
What?
I kind of want to watch more of these movies, but like the next one's Alien 3, and I don't think I want to do that one. And I also don't have that one on DVD.
Cube?
Alien Cubed, Hypercube.
Those movies are so stupid and weird.
Anyway, that's our yet to be titled show of watching through movies with David and Xavier.
Commentary tracks.
This is basically how we interact when we're just watching movies like normally. So
we don't, which is a code word for saying we don't.
Oh yeah, all right. Well,
we don't watch movies together. We just talk with movies playing in the background.
Yeah, and then occasionally go, "Hey, that's neat," or "Hey, that sucks." So thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it.
One thing I wanted to say that for the benefit of this movie, to the credit of this movie, the first time that I watched this with Xavier, I didn't say that much. I just watched it. It held my attention. Now this next time I had to talk because it's a commentary track, but I think I would have liked to just sit down and watch it again.
I can't fucking fix my sleeve. What did you do?
I tied it.
Why did you tie my sleeve on my shirt? I can't undo it. Damn it. Alright, well, see you next time, everybody, for whatever's left of Alien Week.
See you on Sunday.
See you on Sunday, probably.
I'm
wondering if I should do another video for Saturday of a game, but I don't know.
You should play Colonial Marines.
I don't want to play Colonial Marines.
Do it.
I don't want to. I already did.
Colonial
I wasted $5 on that game.
Earn $5 in ad revenue.
Ah!